Sports Championship Television.
Oh boy, what a day for quarterbacks here on ABC. Some of you will see Carson Palmer and USC take on Colorado. Others will see Jason Gesser of Washington State facing Ohio State, or Eli Manning. Is he the best in the family? Ole Miss in a battle with Texas Tech and Cliff Kingsbury. And you have a group of quarterbacks that probably rivals the quarterbacks back in 1983 and back in 1999. When you look at these names, you know you're looking at a great group.
I don't know how many are going to make it in the NFL, but it's the best group of college quarterbacks I've ever seen.
Yeah, the rest remains to be seen, of course, as the drafts go on. Now, what's a tougher place to play, the Swamp or Franklin Field? I'm guessing you think the Swamp, but it didn't look that way for Miami all day. Willis McGahee had 4 touchdown runs in the game, goes over 100 yards as well, and Ken Dorsey had 2 touchdowns passing. And Terry, you know something a little bit about Franklin Field.
John, my greatest day as a college running back, West Virginia versus Temple, 5 carries, 35 yards. I ran over Joe Klecko.
You did not run over Joe Klecko.
They clipped him. I hopped over him.
He was on the ground, little bunny hump. Of course, we will keep you up to date with all the games and such. Also see you at halftime, so enjoy the game. We'll see you a little bit later. That's it from here in New York.
The Buckeyes pour onto the field in Columbus. They have never lost to Washington State. The game today features 2 very bright stars. His name is Jason Gesser. His smile is as wide as his talent. The Washington State gunslinger follows in the footsteps of Mark Rippon, Drew Bledsoe, and Ryan Leaf. Ohio State's brightest new star is number 13, Maurice Clarett. He exploded on the scene with a 175-yard rushing debut, the greatest opening act in Buckeye history. Now he's out to stop the Cougar Express. So it is the Pac-10 against the Big Ten. Welcome, everybody, with Gary Danielson. I'm Brett Musburger. Gary, let us start with Jason Gesser. Why is he so good?
Well, Brent, first of all, he's a senior, and if you check the Pac-10 records, senior quarterbacks do well in that league. And secondly, he's talented, and he does a lot of things. He can go to his right, his left. He goes sidearm. He's tough to pick off. He's tough to sack. He's just a playmaker. Kind of reminds you of Jake Plummer.
Couple pretty good safeties for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, and that's really the key for Ohio State. 2 senior safeties, Donnie Nicky, Michael Doss. They have seen this offense. Purdue runs the same offense. These 2 guys must keep all those young Buckeyes in line.
So the stage is set. A crowd in excess of 100,000 on an overcast day in Columbus, Ohio. And the 3rd member of our broadcast team is Jack Arute. Let's go to Jack.
And Brent, I'm with the head coach of the Washington State Cougars, Mike Price. Mike, this is 3 times
right now.
3 times the size of the crowd that you're playing at home. What did you tell these kids the last thing before they stepped out on the field here?
Well, like I always tell them, I love them, and just go out and have some fun.
Coach, good luck today.
Okay, thanks, Jack.
The coin toss out in the middle of the field, and a very good veteran referee. Dick Honig will run this crew. Jimmy Krogstad is his umpire, and the captain's now in the center of the field. You see number 2, Mike Doss for the Buckeyes. Jason Gesser there, number 17, the quarterback. He's the only 3-time captain in the history of Washington State football, and they've played it out there in the Palouse for over 100 years.
Got a kick out of the Washington State guys, Brent, yesterday when they did their walkthrough. Washington's going to decline. But they all had their cameras. They were looking around. I think it was almost like Hoosiers. They measured the field. It's the same 100-yard field. Yep, they're deferring.
So the Buckeyes will handle the ball here first. Jimmy Tressel, second year as a head coach for Ohio State, and the gentleman he replaced, John Cooper, is in attendance today. He and his lovely wife are upstairs here alongside in one of the booths. John doesn't get an opportunity to come back very often. So Craig Krenzel will be quarterbacking the first series, and we asked Craig what he would try to accomplish in that opening series.
Very rarely do you see exactly what you're prepared for. So I think, for the first series, we want to come out. We obviously want to move the ball and score. But a bigger thing for us is going to be see what they're doing and get ready to adjust to what they're going to be throwing at us all game long.
Craig would like to have some positive field position, but with the wind at the kicker's back, it is more likely that it will be a touchback. Adam Holliday, number 4, will handle the kickoff chores for the Cougars here today with the ball down at the 35-yard line. And again, that breeze, you probably can't tell because the flags are up very high on this stadium. But if he gets it up, the senior from Newbury Park, California, is going to ride this one into the end zone. There's the breeze that we're talking about, blowing from right to left at about 15, 18 miles an hour. And Doss, one of the deep men, back with Chris Gamble, the wide receiver. So numbers 2 and 7. Two fine runners are set to attempt to give them field position if they get a crack at this. Along the ground, they want to kick it short. Out of bounds, and a penalty flag goes down. So not a positive start for the Cougars, and I'm rather surprised, Gary, that with that breeze that they didn't let it ride.
Absolutely. I think that Ohio State, as you mentioned, had their firepower back there, 2 guys that could take it to the house. But we saw, remember last week, Brent, Alabama attacked right from the beginning of that game, and so far Washington State says we're going to kind of play it safe.
Well, let us meet now the Ohio State offensive lineup, brought to you by Alamo Rent-A-Car. Speed and strength. Claret, the key man. The major challenge is being faced by this offensive line. The strength of the Cougars is this defensive front. They go about 7 or 8 deep, and they are a load, as offensive lines in the Pac-10 will tell you. But protection right away. Krenzel opens up with firepower deep into Cougar territory. Michael Jenkins, the junior from Tampa, Florida, on the receiving end, but credit the offensive line. There was no penetration along the front that time.
Well, Ohio State says, all right, Washington State, if you want to play us 8 or 9 men in the box and you want to go one-on-one against our athletes, we're going to post corner you right from the first play. No one, and you can see it from the double box right there, no one near Krenzel on the throw. That was simple pitch and catch.
33-yard gain. Krenzel has been completing better than 80% of his passes in his first 2 games. He makes the call at the line of scrimmage. He has yet to throw an interception. The junior, a very intelligent field general. Now the penalty flags come flying prior to the snap.
I think Ivan Douglas, number 53, flinched over there just as Washington State was showing blitz.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5 yards, first down and 15. Please reset the clock.
Now these are the fellows who must dominate along that front for Coach Price, and they are very, very good. And of course, they'll be looking for Maurice Claret, number 13, all day long. They'll be watching the freshman running back. Corners are on an island. You saw Trufant out there, and he gave up a 33-yard gain. He's the best of the bunch back there, and all Pac-10 defensive back. But the penalty is big as far as Washington State is concerned. Puts the Bucks in 1st and 15. Claret, in his first carry, crosses the 35-yard line. So we have told you about Craig Krenzel. He's the only young man from Michigan on the Ohio State roster this year. Won his first career start at the Big House a year ago, and he started last week's game against Kent State with 11 straight completions. His brother, a pre-med student, and he hopes to join him if he doesn't get a good shot in the National Football League. That would be number 1 for young Krenzel, who's playing very well this year. Now 2nd down, and it'll be 3rd down, and that time Trufant was all over the wide receiver.
Same play. Trufant says, all right, you got me once, but this time Michael Jenkins kind of ran a sloppy route. Did not sell the post, and Trufant has seen it all. Like as you mentioned, he's been on an island so long at Washington State, you know, Tom Hanks doesn't have anything on him.
That's for sure. Third down now.
He starts talking to Wilson pretty soon when the volleyball rolls by.
They have a good kicker this year in Nugent, but you would think they would need about 7 yards before they bring him into the play here. Third down and 13. Hit on the release, gets underneath to Gamble. Gamble is down to the 25, and that should give the Buckeyes an opportunity at a field goal attempt here into the breeze, and that unit is coming onto the field right now.
Smart play by Krenzel that time. He wanted to go downfield. Washington State brought 6 rushers, 2 outside linebackers, and he had to dump the ball off. Nice stop by Washington State, forcing Ohio State to try a, 43-yard field goal? Is that what it is?
Yes, it is. And here is Mike Nugent. His holder's the punter, Andy Groom, number 18. Groom sees that the kicker's ready. Blasts it into that breeze to put the Buckeyes ahead 3-0. So the 33-yard completion on first down leads to a field goal, and Ohio State goes up. Mike Price was named a coach in Pullman back in 1989. A fine 10-2 record last year, but he has never had back-to-back winning seasons. That is expected to end here this season. This is an outstanding Washington State team. Mike Nugent, who put the 3 points on the board for Ohio State to kick it off, and he really muscled that into the breeze. And a young man who transferred from Florida State, one of the deep men, number 1, DeVar Darling, who we've been hearing so much about. And here he comes from the 9-yard line. He's got quick to the 21, and down he goes. Now, number 17, Jason Gesser, we asked him what he'd like to accomplish on the first series.
You never want to start the game off with going 3 and out, you know, and not completing any balls, getting 2 yards on a run or anything like that. You always want to come out and establish something first. So I think just coming out, moving the chains, and finding that comfort zone for our offense is the main thing.
If he sounds a little bit like a Hawaiian to you folks, he is. Out of Honolulu, great high school program over there, and St. Louis High School sent so many fine players. A lot of them gone to Brigham Young, haven't they, through the years? Yep. And here comes Jason Gesser. We had an injured special teams
I think it's
player.
the tight end Andrews got really dinged on the play on the kickoff. He was walking to the wrong bench, and they have to help him off. Can't really snap this ball until he gets off. Got be 14 men on the field, trainers and an extra guy.
This is a big, big day for the Big Ten. Not so much the Pac-10, but the Big Ten is coming off 2 very disappointing seasons. This is just one of a couple of matchups between the Pac-10 and the Big Ten. Now Jason Gesser sprints to the right, spins, picked up a couple of yards, couldn't find the open man. Now, speaking of California and Michigan State, let's go to John Saunders for an update on that one.
Brent, this one's tough to believe on the Burger King update. Cal 1-10 a year ago. They're looking to start 3-0. Kyle Bowler, the pitch to LaShawn Ward, right back to the quarterback who threw for one and also ran one in. 14 yards. Now 3-0 for the first time since Steve Mariucci was there.
So a blow to the Big Ten, but congratulations to Jeff Tedford, the former offensive coordinator with Mike Bellotti at Oregon, who is doing an unbelievable job with the Golden Bears. Running play is eaten up, and it's going to be 3rd and long as C. Grant makes the play. Our Alamo Rent-A-Car lineups for Washington State. They're missing a big weapon here today. Wide receiver Jerome Riley. Colin Henderson, he has experience. He'll get a lot of snaps. The average size, folks, is a big offensive line. 6'5", 309. I think that's probably the biggest this year in the Pac-10. I'm not sure about that, but it certainly is one of the bigger lines out west. 3rd down and 7 now for Gesser. I want to tell you, folks, this crowd is really into the game. Gesser's pass is complete. First down, and so on third down, he puts it into Scott Lundy's hands, and the junior from Vancouver, Washington, picks up the first down.
Ohio State came with the zone blitz to the field. It's almost NCAA blitz nowadays. Against these spread formations, you'll see guys coming off the corners all the time, but what happens is Washington State has seen it all. One guy comes, oh, I've seen that. Michael Dawson, just dump it out, and 3 Ohio State defenders overrun, and that allowed the first down.
Ball out to 33-yard line for Gesser and the Cougars. Not much there on the running play. John Tippins was the ball carrier. Well, this is such a great setting in here. We asked Mike Price what it was going to be like to come into the Horseshoe in Columbus.
I know how to beat these guys. I got the recipe to beat them. Get ahead of them and make them play catch up. What I don't know is how to get ahead of them. But that's what they seem to be able to do against other people. They get ahead and then they hold on, and bad things happen to other teams at the beginning of the game, and Ohio State capitalizes on it.
And here they are, the Buckeyes ahead, but only by a field goal. Gesser's got a man. A beautiful pass to Darling. And the sophomore from Houston by way of Florida State picks up 13 yards against this Buckeye defense. There, folks, new nickname for you. Fresh Prince. Will Smith, number 93. Like it or not, here I come.
Here it comes.
We got about 6 great linebackers. Well, they're not great, all of them yet, but they've got 3 fine young freshmen. And the corners today are on the spot, and that gave me an indication why. Darling looked like a big-time receiver, big-time weapon on that pass play. Now at midfield, short drop for Gesser. Flare out to the left side. Nothing doing. And Wilhelm, number 35, comes up and makes the play for the Buckeyes on Lundy. So we've told you about Gesser, who is a senior. He has had 9 career games with 250-plus yards passing, one with 249, by the way. 46 career touchdown passes as he moves up the Washington State charts. Just an outstanding quarterback. You can see how poised he is, how he moves around. Gary's told you about how he reminds him of Jake Plummer. Jonathan Smith, the junior from Pasadena Junior College, checks into that backfield for the Cougars. He gets the call. Gash crosses the 45-yard line. Speaking of Oregon, let's go back to John and find out about the Ducks.
Well, the Ducks began the year, of course, without Joey Harrington. He's now with the Lions, but they do have Ontario Smith, who runs this one in from 3 yards out as they take the lead on an Idaho defense that's given up over 1,000 yards in the first couple of games. Could be a long day for the Vandals. 7-0.
And Washington State, John, has also beaten Idaho. They played Nevada in their opener in Seattle. Then they beat Idaho. Here comes a screen, beautifully set up by Gesser. What a brilliant screenplay that was. And Smith, the running back, out of bounds at the 6-yard line. You cannot ask for a better setup. Gesser was so patient. The Buckeyes thought they had a sack, and he burned them for 39 yards on that beautifully conceived screen pass.
See, that's one of the nice things that Washington State has is the receiver this time, Jonathan Smith, the running back, lines up to the wide side of the field and then shifts over. And you know what that Washington State has going from the Cougars is a lot of game film. Purdue moved the ball against this defense. They know that there's holes in the defense if they're determined and disciplined to throw the ball.
3 wide receivers. And it'll be second down and goal. The Buckeyes have done an outstanding job of stuffing the run with that front. Wilhelm again in on the stop. Now they do have a huge wide receiver at Washington State, a basketball player, Mike Bush, number 5. Yesterday you had the feeling as they came and worked out here that they were prepared to throw the jump ball to the big fella if they could isolate one of the corners going in from the 5-yard line. Now Bush is coming down to the left side.
Right there.
And they've got a linebacker walking out. Now they bring a safety out on him.
No, it's Dustin Fox. They're small
They do
corner.
bring Fox in.
Yes. But he's got the matchup.
Here it is. If he wants him, he's looking away from him. Other side, incomplete.
Dustin Fox listed at 6 foot, but Bush, as Brent was saying, he's like 6'6". There it is. Fox has one-on-one traveling, but Bush, if that ball was thrown as a jump ball, and you're right, They threw it 5 or 6 times yesterday, getting used to that thing, and I think they like that matchup. The trouble is trying to get Ohio State's corners in that one-on-one matchup. Donnie Nicky, the safety, is right there to help if he wants to.
Touchdown! Darling up over the top of number 11, the corner Richard McNutt. They burn him on the fade. That's the young man who's expected to be the target. And again, Darling, Gary, looks like a big-time player.
Well, the first one I would give to the quarterback. This one, I would say, look at that reaction of the ball. He gave the quarterback plenty of field to loft it in there, and he had McNutt just at his mercy on that play. That was pitch and catch.
Drew Dunning nails the extra point. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Krenzel trails for the first time in his career. The Ohio State quarterback has never been behind, but he is now, thanks to this pass from Gesser to Darling. Timeout. Well, many of you know the story of DeVar Darling. Had a twin brother, Devon, who died tragically working out down at Florida State. The Seminoles then did not clear DeVar medically to play for them. So there was a trainer up with the New York Jets who was friendly with one of Coach Price's sons, and he said, would your daddy like a receiver who can run about 4.4? And he said, you better believe it. Let's get him on a jet to Pullman. Young man had never been out to Washington, and he was on his way, and Price and the staff took one look at him and said, go for your physical. He passed it immediately, and here he is with a touchdown on the board. The Cougars kick it off again now. This time they do go into the end zone. Here comes Maurice Hall. And he's out to the 18-yard line. Now let's check in on the Trojans. Here's John Saunders.
Well, Brent, you know, Colorado is without Craig Oaks at quarterback, so Carson Palmer wants to take advantage. He finds Malai Full-McKenzie, who breaks a couple of tackles, then shakes his way downfield for the touchdown. USC on the board. Pete Carroll celebrating. 7-0 is the lead. Brent.
Yeah, that's a positive start in Boulder for the Trojans here today. A lot of people like USC, like they like Washington State out west. Could be another big year for the Pac-10. Oregon State's supposed to have reloaded under Dennis Erickson. So here comes Krenzel. And Claret's going nowhere. That defensive front stones him at the 15-yard line. And the young man will find running against this defensive front a lot tougher than it has been in the previous 2 games.
Watch Ryan Long, number 88, the playmaker on that defensive line. He gets, nobody can handle him. 2 guys try to handle him up front. He's the one that breaks the play down, and then it's just cleanup time for the linebackers. Ryan Long, their nose tackle, 6'6", 286. He looks tall, but it doesn't look like they take his legs away from him very easily.
The Cougars with an early lead. Krenzel changing up. He has 3 wide in this package. Claret into a hole. Down to the 26-yard line with Eric Coleman, the free safety, making the stop. Needed to reach the 28 for a first down, but you could see the young man's burst. There's your Nissan Drive summary. 11 plays, 80 yards, and during commercial, Gary Danielson said, hey, Jason Gesser can really throw the football.
5 of 6, and 2 of them were absolute beautiful timing routes. And you're right. That's that seniorism in him, being able to throw that screen. He did not give it away at all.
3rd down and 3. Claret stopped by number 45. Trufant, the corner, came up, and the pro scouts will write that down. A corner who can cover and not afraid to come up and stick his helmet in there and make the tough stop. So the key plays for the Cougars on their scoring drive. This screen pass beautifully dropped off. Smith down the sideline, 39 yards on 3rd and 4. Then the fade. Darling breaks away from the corner, and it's touchdown Washington State. Now Groom punts it. Fielded at the 29, and here's Trufant. Man, this young man does everything. Defends passes, makes tackles, returns punts. Gesser and the Cougars have got it again. Four wide receivers for Price against Trestle's defense. Pressure on those corners again. They run the draw play out of it. And Tippins, the ball carrier, explodes to the 42-yard line for a first down. Michael Doss makes the play, but this is an 18-yard gain.
And let's talk about what Washington State wants to do. First of all, spread them out, and exactly what they did right there. Spread them out, a lot of quick throws to keep those linebackers moving, and then run the ball. You must keep running the ball. Ohio State wants to bloody their noses, but they must have patience because there's going to be a lot of blitzes, and when you get a chance, just like the first play, throw the deep ball.
3 wide to the left, motion to back to the right. Basically, you're isolated one-on-one to the right, and there he goes. Oh, this is like stealing right now against this defense. The Cougars are an experienced passing team, and folks, the Buckeyes are under fire right now. Jackaroo, what about the crowd?
Brent, they've gone deadly silent. It's you can hear myself talk. There's no crowd noise behind me. Washington State did like most teams that come in here to the Horseshoe. They practiced with crowd noise pumped in, but they said, you know, we couldn't get 100,000 people to a practice. There's only 50,000 in our 2 counties. And I couldn't get them to talk twice or shout twice, Mike Price told me.
They got the slot man on the safety now. They'll run back against it. It'll be second down on this play.
Must be very tough for Ohio State. The first play, Brent, when Washington State ran the ball for that big gain, Ohio State had all 3 linebackers on the field. They did not believe they were going to throw the ball. They thought they were going to run. They still gashed them. So, you know, it's a chess match now. Buckeyes are trying to match it, but you're right. I think the experience of Washington State is what's the difference right now.
And the fellow you told me to watch for, Tyler Everett, is in as the nickel back on this. 3rd down and 5. He's a freshman. There he is. Gesser has it spread again and threw high because of pressure.
I think it's very difficult for Ohio State to stay with their 3 linebacker look. C. Grant, number 6, was a corner a year ago, and he's playing linebacker now. But he still has linebacker responsibilities. To match this defense, the spread almost forces you to go nickel. I believe you have to have 5 defensive backs in the game.
Washington State, they've got a swagger, folks. They're going for it here on 4th down. They're not playing field position. They think they can pick up 5 with Gesser. That's a touch of arrogance, but why not? It's a solid, good football team. The blitz, Gesser gets it off, incomplete, good pressure. So the Buckeyes eat up 4th down, and they'll take it over with reasonably good field position. The pressure came from Kenny Peterson, the senior tackle from Canton.
Nice change up by defensive coordinator Mark D'Antonio. 3 linemen this time. They go 3 linemen and blitz Doss off the corner. That confuses Washington State. Give that one to the defensive coordinator for Ohio State. A change-up defense. They had Will Smith at linebacker and brought Michael Doss. That caused the breakdown. I'm very surprised they went for it on 4th down. I'd have pooched it down there and put it inside the 10.
Krenzel brings the offense out. Claret battles, spins free, but didn't gain much on it. An ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. 10-10-220, great rates all day, every day. Lincoln Financial Group, clear solutions in a complex world. And Alamo, the official rental car of the American Vacation.
We talked about what might be the hot spot for Ohio State, the 2 corners. The question mark for Washington State is the 2 safeties. Remember, a year ago, Lamont Thompson and Billy Newman were their 2 stars. 2 new players, Coleman and Williams, have to answer the bell.
Claret is carried 5 times for only 11 yards. So Krenzel's going to go airborne, and it's an underthrown pass that time. Chris Vance, the senior from Fort Myers. And a reminder that tomorrow the IRL Chevy 500 will be coming to you from Dallas. Jackaroo will be on the way. Jack, tell us about this race.
Well, Brent, let's tell you about qualifying, which was just completed. Neither Sam Hornish Jr., who leads in the points by 12 over Elio Castro-Neves, won the pole. Fedor Mira got that, a rookie. Hornish Jr. will start 3rd, Castro-Neves in 10th. It's going right down to the last lap, Brent.
All right, Jack, great update. Stay tuned, everybody. We got Jackaroo on the story. 3rd down now on 11. Krenzel, pressure, steps up beautifully, got a man, dropped. Had a pass dropped at the 35-yard line by his go-to guy, number 7, Chris Gamble.
I think Jason David might have gotten his hand on that one. I'm not sure. The ball was poorly thrown, and the receiver, was it Vance? Gamble, I think, had to slow down on this one. Watch the ball. He slowed down. Let's see if David comes across. He got his hand. Looks like he knocked it out of there.
Sure did.
Poorly thrown ball, or that would have been a first down.
Because he had him,
yes,
didn't he? Wide open. And now Groom back on the field to punt. Here's Trufant over to make the fair catch at the 26-yard line. 3:41 to go in the opening quarter. The Buckeyes marched down and kicked a field goal, and the Cougars answered with the touchdown.
Watch how Gamble has to slow down for the ball, and that allows for Jason David to just put his hand and pop it through. That's a brilliant play by Jason David.
It was wonderful, wasn't it? Get that hand in there like that.
And that's a guy who's used to playing in space. That's what he's done for a couple of years, and he's used to being out there.
Now it's Gesser and the Cougars back on the attack. Back with the running play for a couple of yards. That's Jermaine Green getting the first call from scrimmage. That's 104 yards of offense here for the Cougars in the first quarter.
Yeah, one thing that's popped in my mind so far with Washington State is they're much better off with wide receivers on both sides. When they kind of flood the field with 3 wide receivers to one side, it looks like Ohio State is comfortable with that formation. They're less comfortable with wideouts going on both sides in a slot. And what do? Wideouts on both sides.
Balance the field.
How about 5 of them?
Need the 8 yards for the first down. And the whistle.
We got. Right to the snap. False start. On the offense, 5 yards, remains second down.
Well, tonight our day prime doubleheader wraps up with 2 great regional games. Most of you are going to see Nebraska against Penn State, Big 12 against the Big 10. Then the rest of you will see Texas take on North Carolina, the Big 12 against the ACC. Tonight, remember, it starts at 8 Eastern time. Man, I gotta hook up someplace. Gary, I know you're driving home. I gotta get someplace where I watch both of them.
Radio. I'm a radio guy.
You got the radio guy. I'll be, got to be a Champs or some joint we can find tonight. Here's Gesser going to drop it off to the side now, but no first down on that play. And the Buckeyes with some alert coverage that time by Donnie Nicky, one of the veteran safeties that Gary told you about.
Yeah, Donnie Nicky, he's gotten big when we saw him as a freshman. But let's talk about Jason Gesser. He's the marquee guy, and he's got the offense moving over 100 yards here in the first quarter. And when you look at him, you just see a lot of things that you love in a quarterback. A competitive guy, absolutely fearless, hurt a number of times. And I love this, instinctive. He's a playmaker, and then that Hawaiian hang loose. Nothing bothers this guy.
A lot of confidence in the Washington State offensive line. Gesser's back. They flare the running back, and the Buckeyes were coming, and he hit the open man, but it is short of the first down because of a beautiful stop by Dustin Fox, the sophomore from Canton. That was Mike Bush on the receiving end that time.
Keep an eye on Jason Gesser. You see at the silent count, when he lifts his heel, Ohio State is moving their defense. That's their key to run these blitzes. It's catching them a little off balance right now. 4th and short. Will they?
They're going to go. They're thinking about it over there.
No, they'll try to draw them off sides, maybe then punt, won't they?
Or use a timeout. I mean, Mike really, he wanted to go. I mean, he really does.
Really?
It's
you know what
short.
that means? You know what it means to me? You get a new 5-year contract. You're ready to go for
That's
it.
right. And you know, if you get a winning record, you get another year tacked on. He's got the best. He's got the best contract in football. Got it this week. What a nice man. And they're talking about it right now on that sideline. But obviously, the percentage play is to punt this down the field and play. I think so. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I thought he should have punted last time, so he's got the wind behind him. You have a punter that really hangs the ball high. I think you give the defense has been stopping Ohio State. I think punt it down there, you got the lead. Why make a bad play early?
Yeah, here they come. Kyle Bosler And folks, you want to see this leg. Now, this is a big. He looked like a tight end when he came on the field.
Look at those
I
arms.
had no idea he was a punter. Look at this. He played a little high school quarterback. And Doss said, "Let's go." So it'll be Bossler to Doss. High snap.
Oh.
And he had to just get that one out of there. Doss fumble, and I believe McNutt dropped on it for Ohio State. Recovered it alertly at the 29-yard line. But that was almost a critical turnover. But, you know, when you that's the reason why you punt.
I think so. I mean, you can't give Ohio State the ball right there. Doss comes up on it. This is one he could have returned. He coughs it up. Washington State takes him out, and McNutt smartly. That's exactly how you do it. You take it, turn your shoulders.
Yeah, McNutt is being congratulated on that sideline, too. You better believe that. And Doss knows that he let that one just get away from him. And now Krenzel and the Buckeye offense trot back out onto the field.
When's Ohio State going to be able to bloody their noses? I haven't seen it at all.
No, sir. Claret into a hole. And that's 9 yards on first down that time. And you can just see the phenomenal talent of this young man from Youngstown. Jack?
Brent, you want to watch closely Maurice Claret, not through the first quarter, second quarter, or third quarter, but see how he runs in the fourth quarter. Jim Tressel, the head coach, told us that this is going to be the game where Maurice Claret gets pounded upon. He said, we'll find out just what the true freshman is like physically by quarter number 4. He's getting a lot of carries.
And he got him in 2nd and 1 with that 9-yard run. Coming right back. The great ones like to have it in their hands, and there's the first down. Folks, that's a freshman. And he was carrying 3 white jerseys with him out to the 45-yard line, and that's why the crowd loves this young man. He exploded with 175 yards, and you ought to listen to Jim Tressel talk about his recruiting trip. When he went, the head coach is allowed 1 trip to a high school when he recruits a young man, and of course, being the former Youngstown coach, Tressel had an eye on him all along. So Tressel went to his high school. He watched every game from beginning to end and said not once was Maurice Claret ever caught from behind. Folks, that is unbelievable.
All those little sophomores and juniors in high school that couldn't tackle him don't feel so bad now, do they?
Exactly. Yes, they have, fellas. Pretty good to be banged on. So there's the end of a first quarter. The Cougars of Washington State, with Darling on the receiving end for Coach Price, go ahead 7-3 in Columbus. We've got timeout.
You're watching college football on ABC Sports Championship Television.
Those numbers in the upper left, see that yellow number 11, that's the coaches' rankings. I believe Washington State, according to the writers, was number 10 this week. And the Buckeyes have jumped to number 8. So 2 highly rated teams, and who knows, this could be game 1 of a 2-game series. Both these teams could wind up in Pasadena in the Rose Bowl. And Krenzel's got time, got one-on-one. Incomplete.
Boy.
He couldn't hook up. Jenkins had his man, it looked
Absolutely.
like.
When you throw it into the kicker's net, you know that's a bad throw. I mean, right into the net he threw it, and Jenkins had a 2-man route. Ohio State is going to go for the home run ball, and he throws it into the kicking net.
Gary, I got some quarterbacks have told me that it's harder to throw with the wind
Absolutely.
than against it. Is that true?
The deep ball sometimes is, I'll take the wind with the deep ball, but a touch passes I'd rather throw into the wind because it turns it over a little.
It turns it over a little bit for you. 2nd down and 10. They were blitzing, and they hit it with the run, and that's the backup, Lydell Ross, and he's off for the races. To the 19-yard line, they blitzed the run, and they didn't get it. 36 yards, the best play from scrimmage for the Buckeyes.
Remember when I said Ohio State needing to be patient? You watch the blitzing come. If you're patient against these guys, they're going to get you, but eventually you're going to pop it. And when you pop it, there's nobody back there. There's no safeties coming up to help because the safeties have already blitzed on the play, and that's the big play. Stay patient. They get you. You get them.
Claret is lining up as a fullback. They can throw to him. He's an excellent receiver, but they run him from that up back, and the Cougars were not fooled.
Do you see that bad stance by Claret? I don't think he's ever been in a sport. As a tailback, he's always had his hands on his knees. He was looked like he was trying to hide in there at fullback on that one. Didn't work.
He sure did.
It is man-to-man to the outside. nothing has changed. Trufant, David, Jason David, both of them are matched up man-to-man, and Ohio State has a size advantage on David, just the way the size advantage for the Cougars.
2nd down and 9. The freshman is pounded when he reaches the 14-yard line, and Claret has carried now 10 times here in the first half of this game, so the young man wants it in his hands, and he's getting a chance here today.
You know, I thought it looked like he slipped as he started going out on that ball. You see him right there, his stats on this team. And he's kind of ginger with his ankle right there as he took a big pop. And Coach Tressel told us yesterday, right, Brent? For the first time, I think he's going to feel what it's like to get hit by major college football players.
Yeah, I think he feels this one right now. You better believe it. 3rd down and 5. Shotgun. There was movement. And the whistle. And even though there was movement and the play was stopped, Claret took a hit.
Yeah, he did.
The young man apologized. That was Chavis, the defensive end from
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
So it's okay to be hit when you're carrying, but when it's whistled dead and somebody's still going to pop you now, you don't like that.
Virgil Williams got him the time before, so that back-to-back times he took one right in the chops. And you know, if you're going to be a Big Ten tailback, you know, ask Eddie George, you know, ask Archie Griffin. You're going to have to learn to take hits.
Buckeyes need 10 here. Ball inside the 20-yard line in that red zone area. Krenzel has not thrown that accurately here so far. Use that H-back motion. Sacked at the 27-yard line. And there's the team that led the Pac-10 in sacks last year. Coming up with one right here. Ryan Long, number 88.
Here's the box. Here's the box, Brent. Excuse me. How about this one? 10 men in the box. One guy out here, man-to-man, Trufant. 10 men in the box. That's the way you get those sacks like that. Before he can throw the ball, you get to the quarterback.
Mike Nugent will attempt a 43-yarder. If successful, this would pull the Buckeyes to within a point.
Ball's gone.
He did just that. So Nugent has put all 6 of the Buckeye points on the scoreboard. They trail it with 12:09 left in the 2nd. Now here's our Pontiac Performance Drive summary. Lydell Ross had the big run on that series of 36 yards. Nugent caps it with the field goal. And it's 7-6 with the ball on the tee for Mike. Darling and Coleman are back deep for the Cougars. This one will be coming out of the 20-yard line. Coleman will take a knee.
Jason Yesser's got off fine in this game, 8 and 11. And the ways this offense works against any pass rush is you got a lot of quick throws. Same thing Purdue runs. You have teams that don't have great big guys up front. You throw a lot of quick releases, quick passes, and Gesser does all that and makes plays by himself. Tough guy to stop.
Washington State keeps its personnel over on the sideline for as long as possible until they tell them to go, so that the coaches upstairs cannot see what package they've got on the field.
Let's see if Washington State doesn't come back to that screen pass that was good to them earlier in the first quarter.
Bush goes off to the right side. Takes Fox with him. And Honig wants to straighten things out down there with the center. And I don't know that he knows we're back. I guess he does now. That was it. He was thinking we appreciate that. We'd pay a few bills, but we were already back. So it's 1st down and 10. And the Cougars will see if they can run, and they go nowhere against Robert Reynolds. And now it's time for the Aflac trivia question. This week's question is, who holds the Ohio State University freshman rushing record? Multiple choice, folks. Great Archie Griffin, Eddie George, Heisman Trophy winner, Robert Smith, or Les Horvath, another Heisman Trophy winner.
The one that stands out there is Les Horvath. Why his name in there, huh?
2nd down and 10. Horvath wore number 22. Buckeyes had one great year. Second down now. Gesser throws this one away. He and the receiver Bush were not on the same page that time. You might wonder about Bush, why he's a football player. He played basketball at Washington State. Eligibility gone in that sport. The coaches, Mike Price, saw him just hanging out. Jack Arute was telling me that he just kind of hung out and was watching coaching film all the time. And so Mike said, would you like to go back? I know you played in high school. And yeah, Bush said, sure, I'd love to try it. And now he's got a chance someday to go to the National Football League. He's a huge target. Reminds you a little bit, Gary, of Herman Moore that fell up with.
Well, Herman could do it all. We'll see. That's right. He's got the big catches. Now he's got to catch the short ones.
Third down. Gesser not getting away this time. And there is the great sack by Kenny Peterson, who's made a couple of huge stops.
Kenny Peterson was a defensive end last year for Ohio State. They moved him inside, put on a little weight, but he has that potential. And again, Will Smith right here is lining up as a linebacker, so that's only a three-man rush. When you can sack the quarterback with a three-man rush, you know you got some athletes up front.
Well, this could be an opportunity now. High snap, and the Buckeyes storm in on it, and this is going to be great field position for Ohio State. He was lucky to get that one out of there.
That's as good as Washington State could have got out of that.
Absolutely.
That could have been a disaster for the Cougars.
That was Donnie Nicky.
Yes, it was.
25 to safety, who was storming in on that punt. Timeout.
On first down are bringing in
Coleman, the free. Here comes Ross. Lydell Ross in at tailback for the Buckeyes. Craig Krenzel, the quarterback. 10:43 to go in the first half. 1-point game. Washington State leading Ohio State. And here comes Ross. And he ran the daylight out to the 48-yard line on first down. And that stop made by Coleman, the free safety.
Little change up by Bill Doba, defensive coordinator for Washington State. They, on first down, are bringing in 5 defensive linemen. They get this I formation by Ohio State. They're going to put 5 guys, big guys, or at least the biggest guys they got, on the defensive line and try to stop that running game on first down. That's pretty good. Ohio State chew up 5 yards against that defense that's supposed to stop the run. There's Bill.
Second down, and Krenzel's going to put it up. Got a man. First down at the Cougars, 36-yard line. Jenkins came back to make the catch, and earlier we asked you the Aflac trivia question. Who holds the freshman rushing record? They've had so many great running backs here at Ohio State. Archie won a couple of Heismans. Eddie George, Robert Smith, Les Horvath, and it is Robert Smith. In 1990, Smith rushed for 1,126 yards. He's living now, I understand, back here in the area, probably here this afternoon. Here is Ross, and he's to the 33-yard line. So with Gary Danielson and Jack Arute, I'm Brent Musburger. 9.5 minutes to go here in the first half. And the Buckeyes have kicked a pair of field goals. Washington State scoring the lone touchdown, and they're up by a point right now. But the Buckeyes slowly but surely have been sort of changing the momentum, and they sort of have things going their way now.
It seems like they have more plays to call on. They can run the ball from I formation. They can spread you out. Their receivers are very talented. I mean, you put Jenkins out there and Chris Campbell, and they're as good as you get.
Now Clarett, of course, who was after Robert Smith's rushing record as a freshman, back in at tailback. They tried to block, and they sent a blitzer through it on help. And that time, it was Davis who made the stop for the Cougars.
That's a bust by the quarterback. I mean, you have to see this if you're Craig Krenzel. I mean, there's going to be a 9-man rush here, and watch Krenzel. He turns his back on it. You can't turn your back on that. You know they're coming. You're outmanned. You just have to forget the fake and throw the ball downfield. You rush 9 people and keep 2 people on the corners. You must make them pay for that.
Ryan Long was stuck, really stuck by the freshman running back. Now he's picking on a junior defensive tackle who's a veteran, and he got his man, but the Cougars win that war. An 11-yard loss on it, and it is now 3rd down and 18. Krenzel running for his life. Not a known scrambler, and he's going down because of Isaac Brown. We told you that they were deep along that front and very talented, and that Cougar defensive line with a great series.
40 sacks for this Washington State team last year, and 30 of the sacks returned. This is a design play, a design sprint out, kind of a dash left is what they call it. Claret gets a huge block on the dash, but Isaac Brown has got that speed to just make it up, and Krenzel couldn't get there.
That's the third sack of the game. Groom's punt, and the veteran return man let it go on into the end zone, and it'll come out on the 20-yard line. 7-6, Washington State leads it. Timeout. Big change for the Ohio State defensive backfield. E.J. Underwood, number 49, the freshman from Hamilton, Ohio, is in a right defensive corner. They go right over in that direction. Incomplete. So here is our Pacific Life game summary here so far.
Started out Jason Gesser, throws that fade pass to Darling, and Claret got off a couple runs. Washington State has made it tough for him, though. They have served notice that they are going to blitz, and they're going to make Krenzel throw the ball from the pocket. They can't use that dash against him. He's not quick enough.
Gesser is 8 of 13, but Washington State's been unable to sustain anything the last couple of times they've handled the football. He'll throw wide, caught on the run for about a 6-yard gain. Lundy, the receiver for the Cougars that time, and the Buckeyes jump on it before he can make too much out of it.
That's that bubble screen that Purdue made famous, at least here in the Midwest. I'm sure Washington State has been doing it for years. We don't get to see him as much. Of course, Joe Tiller, the Purdue coach, learned it under Mike Price when he was at Washington State.
Third down and 3 yards for the Cougars. And the crowd climbs back in. Gesser has got it on the throw to the 35-yard line. Colin Henderson, the senior.
That was pretty, wasn't it? So quick, he anticipated the zone and saw it and put it there.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by the new H2 Hummer, like nothing else. Jack Daniels original hard cola, come as you are. Tostito scoops, the dip lovers chip, dig in. And Aflac, ask about it at work. Cougars come up with a first down on the 34-yard line.
Got Darling matched up at the bottom of the screen with Dustin Fox, one-on-one.
Gesser looked it off. Good coverage. Scrambles to the right. Got an open man breaking free, and he overthrew Darling that time. Just a little more touch, yes, and Darling might have been off for a touchdown. Jackaroot.
Well, Brent, Jason Gesser is not only an outstanding college quarterback, but he's pretty good in the classroom as well. He's a communications major, Brent, and here he is at their broadcasting school on their cable channel 8, giving us the weather. You notice the chroma key behind there? I told Jason he better not quit his day job, and he said, someday, Brent, he wants your job.
Second down and 10.
Here's Will Smith again at linebacker, trying to give a different look with that 3-man line to Washington State.
They run against the blitz that time, and it opens up for 11 yards as John Tippins, the senior from Santa Monica. John Saunders.
Well, Brent, USC trying to open up some room against Colorado, up 7-0. Malai Fo McKenzie. You know he had one receiving. Well, this one, he just barrels in from on the ground. 14 yards on the touchdown run. USC now up 2 touchdowns over the Buffs. Brent.
John, I think the Trojans have to go to Pullman this year. I'm gonna have George Hill, our stats man over here, check that for me. But I think that's an early October meeting, and that could be a major game as far as the Pac-10 is concerned. Gesser.
Double pass.
Double pass. Complete to Bush for a first down at the 38-yard line. Colin Henderson, folks, is now 9 of 9 throwing the ball. Now, that's unbelievable.
I know.
And 5 of them have gone for touchdowns. Having to go for touchdowns. There he is. He's got to be leading the nation.
He really is. He comes in, that's 9 for 9. We were ready. We said he's 8 for 8. We were ready for his first pass. You know what? Mike Price said he's the best athlete on the team. He played for the baseball team at Washington State. I mean, he says if you go diving or play pool or whatever, this guy will win it. And that was a smart, good throw right there.
Yeah, George tells me USC in Pullman, October 5th. Major confrontation. Kessler's got an open man. He sits down at the 25-yard line. There was very soft coverage on Mike Bush.
I'll tell you what I like here is watch Kessler. This is what the pros do. Remember what I said, Brent, in the open? He throws off his back foot. He throws sidearm. He feels the pressure. Watch him throw this thing without even setting his feet. That's what you have to do in the big leagues against pressure. When they press you that zone blitz, there's a lot of room out there.
That was a good
big-time play. Big-time play. I tell all young kids, I don't care how you can throw it off the pitcher's mound. Can you throw it off balance? And he can do it.
Pushed out the 22. Here it is, set the screen, threw it low that time, and it was batted away by big Kenny Peterson, who's having a big game. Well, we asked Coach Price to describe Gesser, and here's what he said about his quarterback.
He's more like Fran Tarkington or more like Jake Plummer. He's impossible to sack. The guy runs around. I don't know how he gets out of things. I like it because if I call the play and it's not any good, he'll make something happen. He helps the coach out a lot in play selections.
Second down and 10. Doss was blitzing, and Gesser still completed the pass. Doss hit him on the release, and the pass was completed to Bush again.
Brent, you know the good boxer, how you can take a punch and kind of just let it, not stand there and take it hard, just kind of let it absorb on you. Gesser that time saw Doss come and threw it and just kind of turned to jello. You know, that's how you have to do it so you don't take all those big hits. Watch Doss comes. He knows he has to throw it and relax. See how he just backs up? That's almost an unteachable instinct that he has.
We've got a timeout, Washington State. And Gesser goes over to a round of applause. Timeout. Well, Gary has talked about Jason Gesser. And folks, a year ago, he threw for more yards, more touchdowns, and had a higher rating out west than Joey Harrington did.
He's going to go second in the draft.
Third down and 6. Goes empty again. Gesser alone in the gun. Throws a grab, and a penalty flag is thrown as Lundy snared the pass at about the 13-yard line, and the penalty flag. They had to get to the 12 for a first down. And it's against the receiver. And Mike said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I didn't come to the Midwest to get offensive pass interference. Now, said, how can you do that?
You've got to be kidding me.
He saw the replay up on the big board, and yeah, that might be bull doo-doo. You might be right about that, Coach. That was close down there.
Well, you know that Washington State, like all these spread teams, run a lot of these rub patterns where one guy's picking for another. Let's see if we can pick something out here. It's not on that play. It's not any of the receivers. It had to be someone else because none of the receivers was any rub or any pass interference on the receivers.
And it puts Gesser and the Cougars back in a 3rd and 21. They still have to reach the 12. So it really nailed them as far as scoring position. Now lobs wide open. First down as Gesser comes right back and hits a huge 3rd down pass to Lundy again, and the Cougars are in business.
This is inexcusable on this play. Ohio State was in a zone. Your linebackers and people have to get deep. You have to make that play happen in front of you. Ohio State has faced 2 spread passing teams. They had Texas Tech in here. They've had plenty of practice against them. They faced Purdue. They know what the spread can do. That's an inexcusable first down against Ohio State.
Gave the Cougars 23 yards, and they've got a 1st and 10. Now they'll come with a running play, and nothing doing that time for Jonathan Smith. Well, let's check in on how Oregon's doing. Here's John again in New York.
Brent, they're doing just fine without Joey Harrington. You want to see a terrific pass? Jason Fife rolls to his right and on the money to Sammy Parker, who never has to break stride and takes it 80 yards for the touchdown. Idaho continues to struggle on defense. 24-7 Oregon. Brent.
You know, the Pac-10 could wind up with an argument that they're the #1 conference in the country. You look around at Jason Fife, how he stepped in there for Harrington. You know that's a well-coached football team. Bellatti's done a whale of a job down there in Eugene. Gesser slides end zone, incomplete. And Bush, the basketball player, was dueling with the freshman Underwood. And coming up on the Valvoline halftime show, John and Terry Bowden will have all the scores and highlights from around the country.
On first down, Ohio State blitzed them. Second down, they came with their zone.
So we'll be going to the Times Square Stadium. Now, wait a minute. Now,
wait, what is that, a parade for those guys?
What the heck is that? They get on that big motorbike.
Oh, here comes the blitz. Ohio State's going to come after.
Third down now. Blitz, here it comes. Pass deflected, incomplete. C. Grant was coming after it, and David Thompson, the senior, deflected it.
Yeah, David Thompson, that's that blitz where you bring everybody and you drop a defensive lineman and he kind of spies in the middle of the field. One of those change-ups that have been coming into college football like the NFL because of the spread offenses. Watch this guy drop right in the middle. He comes and comes out of it. Gesser just throws it. He thinks he's got a guy wide open.
Drew Dunning, and it's Buckeye football. 1st and 10 coming out.
It's a high snap, wasn't it? Looked to be very high. The holder tried to react quickly to it. Goes off his hands, and then luckily for Washington State, Ohio State doesn't grab it and go the distance. Again and again, those kicking woes. We see it every week, don't we?
Well, the Buckeyes have 2:50 to do something. Even a third field goal would put them into the lead at the intermission. Claret comes back in. Jenkins is out to the right. And no chance that time as Ryan Long, the junior, is all over him.
They have not been able to handle Ryan Long all game. Here's the snap look again. I don't know if the holder was not ready. He had not even called for the ball. That's what it was. The center snapped it too quickly, and the holder was not even ready. That's why, you know, when we saw it the first time, I go, boy, that happened so fast. And that was a mistake by the center. 3 guys involved. Only takes 1 to make a mistake.
Brandon Schnitker in at the fullback spot for the Bucks. And Claret looking for daylight. Out to the 18-yard line. We told you this was a big Saturday as far as the Big Ten was concerned. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Northwestern pulls one out against Duke. And in the third, Purdue is now gone ahead. Minnesota has gone ahead. And Notre Dame. How about the Fighting Irish? We'll see them next week. Now, finals, though. California beat Michigan State. Illinois, an easy win. So we've got kind of a mixed thing going on. This is a huge game, as is Nebraska-Penn State later today at 8 o'clock on ABC. So a lot of pride at stake for the Big Ten. Krenzel going down in a heap, and he's under fire. Achalanu, the junior defensive end from Seattle. That's the 4th sack in the first half for the Cougars.
Well, we gave Claret credit for some good blocking, but that time Achalanu just abused him. A sack guy. He had 11 sacks last year, and Claret could not handle a quick speed rusher like that. Never seen anything like that in high school, did he?
No, I don't think so. Timeout was called by the Cougars.
Well, smart
They'd like to take a shot with 1:15, and they'd like to get the ball back and take a crack at a field goal. And Coach Price over there lobbying a little bit. Check in with Jack Arute.
Well, Brent, do you remember, you were talking about the Oregon score? Remember Joey Harrington last year? when the Oregon people decided that they would post a giant billboard in Times Square. Now there's what, 8-9 million people there? Well, Washington State decided to do likewise at a grain elevator in dusty Washington, population 15 or 16. Guess who for Heisman? The reason we're not quite sure on the population, Brent, they say it changes depending on who gets married that weekend.
I don't know if it'll work for Jason, but it's a great tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, I think they got a little.
I love it.
They gave it to him a little bit.
Out there in the Palouse, they can make a little fun of their neighbors to the south. But you know, when you think about the Pac-10, hasn't the power shifted to the Northwest?
Yes.
Wow. Oregon, Oregon State, Washington State, Washington, those 4 schools, and now maybe SC's on the comeback trail. Low punt. Here's Trufant. Picks it up on a bounce. Saves some yardage with that. He's a very, very crafty return man. College football next Saturday. Notre Dame against Michigan State at 3:30 Eastern. Our regional coverage will be up in East Lansing. Spartans lose a tough one. And some of you will see Virginia Tech, Texas A&M, BYU, Georgia Tech, Colorado against UCLA. That's next Saturday now, remember, at 3:30 Eastern time. First down and 10. Draw play, and Buckeyes were ready for that, so it'll be a second down. We're inside of a minute now. And the board shows Washington State with 1 timeout remaining. Grant makes the stop. So Jason Gesser has now moved into 4th all-time.
Very quarterback-friendly offense at Washington State, but you still have to have a guy that can get the ball there. And this guy has a great feel for football.
On second down, here goes Gesser deep, looking for the touchdown, and no interference called as Nicky, the safety, rotated over, and it was close on Darling over there.
Donnie Nicky showed his speed to get there at that time, but I don't know if he turned around. Now in college ball, you do not have to turn around. This is a deep ball. It's not a timing route. Gesser looks around and says, I see double zone. I'm going to throw it up to the outside. Watch Nicky come across and get there. Well, that could have been called either way, but, you know, I think it's a good no call personally. Nicky kind of went up the sideline. You do not have to turn your head back in college football.
Folks in Pullman, Washington do not agree.
They're farther away.
Here they come after Gesser up for grabs. Incomplete, stops the clock with 24 seconds to go. And Doss was in on him. Well, the critics are calling it stylish, provocative, mysterious, and daring. Don't miss the world premiere of television's hottest new drama, Push Nevada. Gets a special preview Tuesday, 8 Central, only on ABC. Campbell is back deep, 24 seconds. Campbell tries to wave everybody away from it. Cougars dive to save it. They cannot. They come out on the 20-yard line with 15 seconds to go. Once it breaks that plane, you'll see the signal in college football for the touchback. And on the punt.
Well, 12 seconds left. Even though Ohio State has all 3 timeouts, I would assume that they'll play it very conservative.
Yeah, so we got an opportunity. What do you think now the second half? You've seen, you're impressed with Gesser?
Yes, I like Ohio State's adjustments. They're not going to give many. You know, it's like playing basketball sometimes. Joe Dumars told me this when he covered Michael Jordan. You just have to keep contesting every shot of Michael Jordan's. You know he's going to make something. That's what I think Ohio State is doing. They're going to give him credit, but they're going to contest every throw. They've done a nice job, I think, against him. You got to admit he's going to complete something against you.
7-6 ball game. And that will be the score at halftime here. Let's go down to Jackaroo. Jack.
Well, Coach, it's a 1-point lead, but how about the heart palpitations?
My blood pressure, I'm going to go take my blood pressure pill right now. Those officials got me so damn mad, but, you know, we just got to play the game, and, you know, those things will happen. We just got to but we're okay. Their tendencies were what we thought they would be. They're blitzing a lot on third down. We got to hit the hot receiver in those situations. work on their corners, run the ball. I think we're tackling fairly well and playing pretty hard on defense.
Go get that blood pressure medication.
I will, okay.
Yeah, you know, 2 huge calls went against Washington State. Offensive interference going in and no call on Nicky toward the end of the half. John and Terry are coming up next.
Jeep 4x4s. They even make paved roads feel safer.
Thrifty.com. Great cars, great rates, 24/7.
Well, Gary, there's the Buckeye future. Claret we know, but look up there, number 9. Gary's making it right. That's Justin Zwick, the ballyhooed freshman quarterback from Massillon.
Yeah.
He'll get a chance here.
Maybe not this year, yeah. The president in the future standing in one shot right there, huh?
Wow, isn't that something? Recruiting class rated number 1 by the gurus, and you know sometimes we say, what do they know? Blah 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 blah. I think they knew on this one. This is a great freshman class. 3 backup freshman linebackers. All look good. Legion's kickoff went out of bounds. That's a penalty, so it'll come out in the 35-yard line. We'll remind you the ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chrysler. Drive equals love. Discover card. It pays to discover. Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade. Is it in you? And Valvoline's Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. So it is Jason Gesser's turn here.
He is, one thing I got to say about Jason Gesser here, he's missing one of his big prime receivers, Jerome Riley, in this game. Number 84 did not be able to play this game. When we asked Mike Price, he was asked, what is the most underrated player on the team? He said Jerome Riley. Who's the sleeper of the team? Will Dirty. Both those guys are not playing in this football game.
Gesser to throw again on first down. Got the middle. Deflected, intercepted. What a great grab. Matt Wilhelm, the senior linebacker. That's just a great athletic play by Wilhelm for the pick.
This is their run middle linebacker, number 35. Watch him react to the bootleg and run. He has to run with a wide receiver. He lays out, watch this, one hand tips it to himself. And the senior from Elyria, Ohio right there tips that ball up. And, you know, he suffered last year, Brent, with a bad ankle. He had to have surgery in the offseason, didn't be able to go to spring football, but he's got his speed back. He's got his game back. And, as you said, Wilhelm, what Kaiser Wilhelm makes the play.
That Kaiser did it. First down now for the Bucks. Claret's the running back. He'll get another call. And now he's driving defensive linemen back. Let's take a look at this last drive. It's just one of the most impressive we've seen in a while from a freshman running back. There's the speed. Then it became the power and the drive of those piston-like legs to the end zone. He has carried the ball 16 times for 113 yards and the Buckeye touchdown in this game. They lead at 13-7. They have a second down and 7. Four-man rush. Claret runs behind the left side for a couple, and that was Long making the stop. We check in again with Jack.
Well, Brett, Maurice Claret came to the winter session or the spring session here at Ohio State, and it didn't take him long to become a leader. He said, in fact, that one of the reasons why he came to Ohio State is because he felt Ohio State had fallen on some hard times. And he said, for the last couple of years, it's time for us to put our foot down and say, this is Ohio State, and we're back. And he said, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that happens.
Now, he's certainly doing it here today, isn't he? Third down. Krenzel steps away, going to throw it. He's got an open man. Vance. Drop ball at about the 18-yard line.
Well, the original play was supposed to be a quick out to Vance near the sideline. When Krenzel broke the pocket, Vance smartly turned upfield. One of the things you have to know as a young quarterback is when you're in motion, your pass stays in motion. Watch Vance run the out right here and then up when he sees Krenzel. But Krenzel's running to his right, and the ball drifts on him, and Vance, that would have been a tough catch. That ball drifted right out of bounds. Krenzel, if he keeps it in play, it's a touchdown.
So the interception
nice hit.
did not prove costly as the fair catch was made at the 10-yard line. And Gary, take a look for us at our Jeep rushing playbook.
Well, you saw Claret run that lead ISO for Ohio State, but you know, it may look like a boring play, but a lot of things happen. If everybody lines up straight, it's simple. Take the guy in front of you, run to the weak side, fullback takes the back, or you run. But the defense doesn't promise to stay there. They shift one way, everyone has to read. The guard in the center switch, the fullback reads outside, and the halfback, that's how Claret worked the long way. They also go the other way. These guys on defense, they never do what they're supposed to do. Watch it. This is the cutback play. You saw Eddie George do it for years.
Jason Gesser in. Tippins is the running back for the Cougars. And here is Tippins for 3 yards. You know, we thought about Vance out of Fort Myers, and you think about Ohio State. Here are the players from the state of Florida. I believe there are 10 of them. Anyway, it is the second highest number from any state. Obviously, Ohio is clearly number one. But this is a lucrative state for Ohio State recruiting. They go down there, look at the Vance, Gamble, Jenkins. They get their wide receivers. They get their speed base out.
Look at this, 82, 10, and 3. No players from Pennsylvania playing for this Buckeye team. Or at least in the not the top 3.
Second down and 7 now. Flare outside. And there's the young man that you have talked about, Henderson. And Doss comes up to make a great stop.
Yes, that's what, if you talk to the Ohio State coaches and Jim Tressel of what they're looking for in defense, they say number one in modern day football, everyone must be able to tackle in space. And that's exactly what Michael Doss did just right there. Came up, made a one-on-one tackle in space. That's the name of the game nowadays. People will spread you out. You must make those plays after the catch.
So Gesser, in the teeth of all this noise, faces a 3rd and 7. High and incomplete, intended for Darling. And defended by Dustin Fox.
Darling has been very quiet since that touchdown pass early in the first quarter. You see Dustin Fox, he's playing like a bail zone right there. Does a nice job of closing on that ball. It was a little bit of a high throw.
I think you made a great point. I think the Buckeye defenders have done a great job on the Cougar receivers. There is a penalty flag. Here's Gamble from the 45-yard line.
Woo.
He's got some dash to the 42, but there is a penalty flag. The linesman threw it down here. Good referee.
Yeah, Ohio State will decline this one. There's no way. They'll take the ball right where they got it,
Sure.
won't they?
And Dick knows it. You know, he's coming right up there, and bingo. Let's keep the game going. Doesn't hesitate to make his calls. We don't have any meetings. Give me a referee like that every Monday night, and we get to bed before midnight. Timeout.
Lee Corso, future sportscaster star.
Kurt, you can take the helmet off.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you're ready.
I'll get it. Mind if I stand? Yo. Testing. 1, 2, 3. You guys getting this or what?
Send in your 1-minute audition tape to the Discover Card Gets You on Game Day Challenge. If you win, you'll appear on College Game Day and go to the BCS National Championship. Visit your local Best Buy for details. And when you're at Best Buy, use your Discover Card. You'll earn a cashback bonus award and automatically be entered for a chance to win college football and home entertainment prizes. Just another way it pays to discover.
Hey, hand me that there,
Reg?
Yeah.
Oh!
What do you think? I got that insurance or something?
What?
Well, during the commercial, Jack Arute alerted us that there was some cramping problems for DeVar, and Darling, that might be taking him out of the ball game a little bit, huh?
Seems like you're going to have to be careful with him. You know, they lost the receiver, he had to go extra.
So the Buckeyes, terrific field position here. Colorette cuts off his block. It is hard for the first man to go one-on-one.
I'm back here in Columbus with the head coach of the Buckeyes, Jim Tressel. Coach, what did you tell him at halftime?
Well, you know, we just got to be a little bit more relaxed on offense with some young guys. First time in a big one. We've made some mistakes. We've had some open receivers and haven't made plays. Defensively, we just got to keep fighting. Gesser's a great quarterback. They have a great offense. It's going to be a great game. We knew it would be.
Running or air attack win the second half?
Well, we need to do both. No question.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, here is our Pac Live game summary, and let's follow up on what Coach Jim Tressel just said, because the big down and the one they've been missing the wide open receivers on, Gary, is that third down. The quarterback's down, and they're 0 for 6.
Absolutely. That and 4 sacks. I mean, you know, Ohio State runs the ball for roughly 80 yards, but they give up 26 yards in sacks. I mean, that you're not going to be able to win doing that. That's done enough. Now, missing open receivers, Krenzel has to make those plays.
I'm going to give you a chance to change your opinion on that.
You got a better angle or something like that?
I got a little different angle I want to show you.
I get to do the one from the press box. He gets the...
Now, this is really not fair, but folks, if you take a look at this, it looks like Nicky cut him off with the left arm, and he did not have an opportunity to reach back and make the...
But remember this, in college ball, it would have only been a 15-yard penalty. They would have not got the ball right there on the 8-yard line.
Very good point. But it was still interference. All right, here comes the second half kickoff. Washington State and Gesser will handle the ball. Darling back deep now with Coleman, and Wang, strong leg. And now we told you about Jason Gesser jumping up the Washington State record book. The great quarterbacks, the throwing Samoan. Jack Thompson leads the way. Ryan Leaf is second with career yardage. Then it's Drew Bledsoe, and Jason Gesser jumps up into 4th place.
So can he make a run? I think he can make a run. It's a 12-game season this year, and the bowl stats count. Right?
So he could do it in the Rose Bowl or one of the other bowls. It's not count out Oregon or USC just quite now.
He's going to put at least another 150 on in this game if they want to win the football game.
Yeah. Looks like he might put it up right away to begin.
Yes.
He's got 4 wideouts against the Buckeyes, and here he comes. Incomplete. He threw high for Bush.
One of those timing routes. The receiver is going to stop in the zone. Gesser throws the ball so early that those guys have to be on the exact same page because he's throwing to a spot.
You know, I probably shouldn't say this, but I will anyway. But there are times when Bush looks to me like a basketball player.
I agree
football.
with you. He's still just feeling himself out. But those are the type of guys 3-4 years down the line become a very good player.
Mm-hmm. Second down and 10. Nothing doing that time. That's a great stop by Wilhelm. Let's check in with Jack Arute.
Well, Brent, you talk about the basketball play of Mike Bush. Consider these statistics as we watch him play for Wazoo. 1,050 points. That's 20th on the all-time list. 148 career steals. 4th on the all-time list. 456 rebounds. Forget about the NFL. If he doesn't make it there, maybe the NBA.
Well, November 17th, he caught a TD pass last year against Washington. 3 days later, he scored 12 points against Colorado State. So he's an outstanding all-around athlete. Gesser hit on the release, able to drop it off. First down for the Cougars out to the 36. And somebody came out of his shoe down there. Colin Henderson was the receiver.
This is a brilliant catch. I mean, because this was right at him. When Henderson turned around, watch this ball sneak up on him real quickly. He's crossing. This is about a 3-yard pass. Boom! He just snatches that thing from midair. Now, he's not a 4-4 guy. And Mike Price said he's the best athlete on the team. Maybe not the fastest athlete on the team, but he reached up and snagged that thing. That is very impressive. That is the possession receiver right there.
16 yards on it. Reynolds has his shoe back on. First down and 10. And there we hit Lundy for another 11-yard gain. So the Cougar passing attack is cranking out yardage here to start the second half.
Very subtle here. Watch what a real accurate throw, how it can help a play. Watch on this bubble screen as the receiver comes up. He catches it going upfield. bubble screen. Now watch how it's led in front of him. That way he can catch it and go upfield. He doesn't have to stop. That's the key to the play.
Gesser is an outstanding college quarterback.
Accuracy.
He's better than I thought he was. This is the first time we've seen him in person.
I watched him on film, but in person he's more impressive.
First down and 10. Draw play. Well camouflaged by Gesser. And the Cougars barge into Ohio State territory with Jonathan Smith, the ball carrier.
Let's give a little salute here to this offensive line. They got 4 seniors returning. You talked about their size. I mean, they're big. They're actually bigger than Ohio State's offensive line. Gesser gets a lot of the headlines for not being sacked, and rightfully so. But they do a nice job of picking up all the different stunts up front and give them a chance to make that first throw.
Bush has been taken out of this formation. Second down. They'll run the toss with Smith, and on the cutback he can gain only about a yard. And Dustin Fox, the corner, comes up to make the stop.
You know who's been very quiet is Will Smith. I mean, we were expecting him to get jiggy with it here today, and he has not done it at all. He's actually been handled pretty well by that Washington State offensive line. He's their best pass rusher, and he lines up all over the field, but big number 93 has not been able to make a play.
Third down and 4. Gesser and the Cougars. Here is Will getting down 3-man line. Wilhelm trying to come in. Pass is complete, but it is short of the first down. Now here's a 4th down decision coming up for Price and the Cougars.
Well, you just 4th down over midfield here. You got the wind at your back. Do you plug them up to the end, or do you have one of those fakes? Well, we've seen just about everything.
Bosler is on the field, standing back inside his 40-yard line, and there are 2 return men back deep. Gamble lets it go, takes a Washington State bounce. It'll be down inside the 10-yard line. And that's where the Buckeyes will have their first possession of the second half. Timeout. One of the things a freshman running back must learn is how to block. Maurice Claret, watch here. There's number 13 coming back a second time to try and help his quarterback. Now watch this one. He really gets into the defensive lineman. That's Ryan Long. And both good blocks.
Well, he goes 230 pounds. I mean, he got beat one time on a pass pro, but he's willing to do it. And if you're willing to do it, eventually you will do it.
He's in at tailback. He gets the first call. Slant. First down. Breaks free. He's got great speed. They got an angle on him, though. And they've got him at the 47-yard line. Eric Coleman, the free safety, over. But it's 44 yards for Claret.
Well, we showed him blocking, but look what happens. Washington State brings the blitz from the wrong side. Watch this. Blitz from this side. Running play goes the other way. A perfect call right here. Virgil Williams comes from one side, and Eric Coleman, number 27, who playing safety, but he was a corner last year, so he had corner speed, or perhaps Claret might have taken it to the house.
So Claret really broke it loose that time. Passes midfield. Ross now replaces him. And here's Ross. Nowhere. Lost about a yard on the play. Myra Davis. Now, we asked the quarterback, Krenzel, to talk about Claret, and here's what he had to say.
I think the most impressive thing about him is mentally how quickly he picked up the offense, how quickly he picked up, the game of college football at this level, and the complexity of the defenses, and his blitz reads and all that kind of stuff. It's just been amazing what he's been able to accomplish.
He's back, and he is a tremendous receiver, and that's in the game plan. They haven't been able to get to it because they've needed his blocking on pass plays. And this is to Vance. Vance to the 35-yard line, another Buckeye touchdown, and this is the most impressive looking drive they've got.
Well, this is what I think Ohio State needs to do. They need to spread the field with those receivers and throw some short routes to them and kind of spread that defense of Washington State.
I was about 35 yards premature, wasn't I? First time.
Yeah, well, we'll get a replay of it later and fix it, right?
That's right. We'll do a voiceover of the whole thing, and they will never know. First down and 10.
Same thing. Yeah, see, they have to establish.
Incomplete. Gamble dropped it.
You got to catch that ball. That's just easy yards. Washington State does not believe Ohio State will do it over and over again. They're giving them that throw. And halftime, I told you, they must establish those 2 wide receivers. Otherwise, Washington State's going to put 9 guys in the box. They won't be able to run the ball. You know, right now,
Another play they've got is Claret throwing the ball.
Yes,
we got a 2nd and 10. We're in that attack zone. He threw it pretty well in practice. Searches for daylight. He was very patient. Good looking young running back. And you'll see some great football Monday night, folks. I'd be there for this one. 9 Eastern. You got to want to see what the fun and gun and Steve Spurrier is going to do against Donovan McNabb. Now Spurrier lit it up last week. He had Shane Matthews. You would have thought he was a Pro Bowler the way he was throwing a ball last week.
He might be.
I'm telling you. Donovan McNabb criticized by Troy Aikman and during the broadcast by Troy last week. So Donovan will be fired up to prove something, and that's what the fun and gun turned loose. So I wouldn't miss the Eagles and the Skins on Monday night at 9 o'clock. That'll be a dandy. Now play fake. Krenzel in trouble and takes off. Got the first down. An intelligent run. He's not going to outrun your defense, but he got to that corner and picked up the first down.
That was a big play because Ohio State in 3rd and about 3 went with an overloaded offensive line. 4 men to the right side, the tight end to the right side, only 2 backs in the backfield and tried a trick play. And Washington State said, we're not tricked. And Krenzel made a first down out of nothing that time. Those tricks sometimes against veteran defenses just don't work.
There's Claret, right side. He's got the angle. Breaks a tackle. Claret out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. First and goal, Buckeyes. 20 more yards for Claret, who is now over 100 yards. Oh, what a freshman sensation number 13 is.
At halftime, there was some question whether Ohio State would be able to run the ball. I think Claret said to the guys, give me the ball. I'll show you I can run the ball against these DBs. We know you can cover. Can you tackle a 230-pound tailback in the secondary?
Well, they give it right back to the youngster. First and goal inside the 5, and here it comes. End zone, touchdown. Now I can say it. With great speed, and on this drive he really ran with determination, didn't he? Broke tackles, moved the pile. That's why he was the USA Today Offensive Player of the Year. I guess we've seen that here today, haven't we, folks?
Remember, he came to Ohio State and attended spring football practice.
Nugent for the extra point. The Buckeyes regain the lead. Remember, they kicked a field goal and went up 3-0 thanks to Maurice Claret. Watch now as the young man shows great determination, and those legs drive him into the end zone. Timeout. Well, Gary, there's the Buckeye future. Claret we know, but look up there, number 9. Gary's making it right. That's Justin Zwick, the ballyhooed freshman quarterback from Massillon. Yeah. He'll get a chance here.
Maybe not this year, yeah. The president in the future standing in one shot right there, huh?
Wow, isn't that something? Recruiting class rated number 1 by the gurus, and you know, sometimes we say, what do they know, blah, 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 blah. I think they knew on this one. This is a great freshman class. 3 backup freshman linebackers. All look good. Legion's kickoff went out of bounds. That's a penalty, so it'll come out in the 35-yard line. We'll remind you the ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chrysler. Drive equals love. Discover card. It pays to discover. Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade. Is it in you? And Valvoline's Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. So it is Jason Gesser's turn here.
He is, one thing I got to say about Jason Gesser here, he's missing one of his big prime receivers, Jerome Riley, in this game. Number 84 did not be able to play this game. When we asked Mike Price, he was asked, what is the most underrated player on the team? He said Jerome Riley. Who's the sleeper of the team? Will Durden. Both those guys are not playing in this football game.
Gesser to throw again on first down. Got the middle. Deflected, intercepted. What a great grab. Matt Wilhelm, the senior linebacker. That's just a great athletic play by Wilhelm for the pick.
This is their run middle linebacker, number 35. Watch him react to the bootleg and run. He has to run with a wide receiver. He lays out, watch this, one hand, tips it to himself. And the senior from Elyria, Ohio right there tips that ball up. And, you know, he suffered last year, Brent, with a bad ankle. He had to have surgery in the offseason, didn't be able to go to spring football, but he's got his speed back. He's got his game back. And, as you said, Wilhelm, what Kaiser Wilhelm makes the play.
That Kaiser did it. First down now for the Bucks. Florette's the running back. He'll get another call. And now he's driving defensive linemen back. Let's take a look at this last drive. It's just one of the most impressive we've seen in a while from a freshman running back. There's the speed. Then it became the power. And the drive of those piston-like legs to the end zone. He has carried the ball 16 times for 113 yards and the Buckeye touchdown in this game. They lead at 13-7. They have a second down and 7. Four-man rush. Florette runs behind the left side for a couple, and that was Long making the stop. We check in again with Jack.
Well, Brett, Maurice Clarett came to the winter session or the spring session here at Ohio State, and it didn't take him long to become a leader. He said, in fact, that one of the reasons why he came to Ohio State is because he felt Ohio State had fallen on some hard times. And he said, for the last couple of years, it's time for us to put our foot down and say, this is Ohio State, and we're back. And he said, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that happens.
And he's certainly doing it here today, isn't he? Third down. Krenzel steps away, going to throw it. He's got an open man. Vance. Drop ball at about the 18-yard line.
Well, the original play was supposed to be a quick out to Vance near the sideline. When Krenzel broke the pocket, Vance smartly turned upfield. One of the things you have to know as a young quarterback is when you're in motion, your pass stays in motion. Watch Vance run the out right here and then up when he sees Krenzel. But Krenzel's running to his right and the ball drifts on him, and Vance, that would have been a tough catch. That ball drifted right out of bounds. Krenzel, if he keeps it in play, it's a touchdown.
So the interception
nice hit.
did not prove costly as the fair catch was made at the 10-yard line. And Gary, take a look for us at our Jeep rushing playbook.
Well, you saw Clarett run that lead ISO for Ohio State, but you know, it may look like a boring play, but a lot of things happen. If everybody lines up straight, it's simple. Take the guy in front of you, run to the weak side, fullback takes the backer, you run. But the defense doesn't promise to stay there. They shift one way, everyone has to read. The guard in the center switch, the fullback reads outside, and the halfback, that's how Clarett worked the long way. They also go the other way. These guys on defense, they never do what they're supposed to do. Watch it. This is the cutback play. You saw Eddie George do it for years.
Jason Gesser in. Tippins is the running back for the Cougars. And here is Tippins for 3 yards. You know, we thought about Vance out of Fort Myers, and you think about Ohio State. Here are the players from the state of Florida. I believe there are 10 of them. Anyway, it is the second highest number from any state. Obviously, Ohio is clearly number 1. But this is a lucrative state for Ohio State recruiting. They go down there, look at the Vance, Gamble, Jenkins. They get their wide receivers. They get their speed base out.
Look at this, 82, 10, and 3. No players from Pennsylvania playing for this Buckeye team. Or at least in the not the top 3.
Second down and 7 now. Flare outside. And there's the young man that you have talked about, Henderson. And Doss comes up to make a great stop.
Yes, that's what, if you talk to the Ohio State coaches and Jim Tressel of what they're looking for in defense, they say number one in modern day football, everyone must be able to tackle in space. And that's exactly what Michael Doss did just right there. Came up, made a one-on-one tackle in space. That's the name of the game nowadays. People will spread you out. You must make those plays after the catch.
So Gesser, in the teeth of all this noise, faces a 3rd and 7. High and incomplete, intended for Darling. And defended by Dustin Fox.
Darling has been very quiet since that touchdown pass early in the first quarter. You see Dustin Fox, he's playing like a bail zone right there. Does a nice job of closing on that ball. It was a little bit of a high throw.
I think you made a great point. I think the Buckeye defenders have done a great job on the Cougar receivers. There is a penalty flag. Here's Gamble from the 45-yard line.
Woo.
He's got some dash to the 42, but there is a penalty flag. The linesman threw it down here. Good referee.
Yeah, Ohio State will decline this one. There's no way. They'll take the ball right where they got it, won't they?
And Dick knows it. You know, he's coming right up there, and bingo. Let's keep the game going. Doesn't hesitate to make his calls. We don't have any meetings. Give me a referee like that every Monday night, and we get to bed before midnight. Timeout. Well, during the commercial, Jack Arute alerted us that there was some cramping problems for DeVar, and Darling, that might be taking him out of the ball game a little bit, huh?
Seems like you're going to have to be careful with him. You know, they lost the receiver, maybe he had to go extra.
So the Buckeyes, terrific field position here. Claret cuts off his block. It is hard for the first man to go one-on-one and bring him down. Now, speaking of the NFL, Sunday night over on ESPN, you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they'll be playing the Oakland Raiders. Now, that's a war that brings back some memories, huh? 8:30 Sunday over on ESPN, Raiders and the Steelers. Man, Steelers didn't look very good last Monday night, did they? They got blown away by the Patriots, didn't they, guys?
You want to have that debate about Tom Brady and Drew Henson again?
No, I don't think so. I'm having enough trouble making hints on a third baseman. Here comes Claret off the tackle, and that's a first down inside the 30-yard line. Let's check in on the Ducks. Let's go to John Saunders.
Well, Brent, against that Idaho team that really struggles on defense, Oregon's trying to light them up. Jason Fife, 23 yards to Matt Floberg, who just takes it out in the flat. And then the big guy barrels his way across for the touchdown. Oregon increases their lead now 34-7 with a lot of time left, right?
Yeah, they'll win that one easily, eh? And Ross is now in at running back. Claret has rushed for 127 yards, Gary. And here comes Ross, and not much doing. So let's, you know, we've talked about the Big Ten. Let's take a look around the Pac-10 here today. Big win for California. Jeff Tedford's done a great job. Oregon's going to win, it appears. And USC doing a number on Colorado and Boulder.
Hey, Brent, how about Jim Tressel as we look at the scores that are going to happen later? Jim Tressel said who he'd like to build his program like. He goes, well, of course, Miami, Florida, and Oregon. That was very interesting to me to mention Oregon in the top like that.
And then he said we might be adding the third one to Virginia Tech.
That's right.
There was a night after.
I think Oregon and that Fiesta Bowl really showed a lot of people that Pac-10 is playing real football down there.
Frenzel to the 22-yard line. It'll be third and about 2 yards to go. Virgil Williams, the junior from Tacoma.
That was a good job by Krenzel that time. Put it in a position for his offense to be able to pick up the first down. And also, with a 13-7 lead right here, you know that Tressel will take that field goal if they don't pick it up. You know, the Ohio State offensive line has come out in the second half and done a nice job also. Jim Bowman, the coordinator and offensive line coach, has found a way to get those pulling guards coming around on that power ISO and really kind of gash this Washington State defense.
Here's 3rd and 2, and there's movement. It becomes 3rd and 7 as the left tackle.
Way to go, Gary.
Moves on the play. At that point, it makes it, yeah, you know, it's like bragging about a kicker. We do it all the time, you know.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat the down.
Well, they've been coming out the second half, and really, there's Bryce Bishop pulling one way, coming number 78. Claret just turns it upfield. When you've got that type of head start for these offensive linemen and the quarterback getting time to set up in the pocket, you're going to gain yards. I mean, it's just the way it goes. Bloody their noses. That's what Jim Bowman said he wanted this team to do. That was the first priority, and I think they're starting to do that in the second half.
Yeah, Ivan Douglas just lost concentration and cost him 5 yards. This makes it now a tougher 3rd and 7, and Krenzel will operate from the shotgun. Claret's off to his left.
See if he doesn't get the draw. Yeah, I thought so.
And Ross does not get the first down. They followed the Claret block that time, and Long blows the play up. This Ryan Long is one of the best defensive tackles I've seen in a while.
Absolutely. Big size, 6'6", 280, 290. You know the NFL guys will beef him up to be 320 someday, and he's a good athlete.
Ship him on down to my friend in Kansas City.
It's a big stop for the Washington State defense right here. They bowed their neck right here, and now this field goal, if they miss it, Washington State's right there.
There's a 44-yarder. It's no gimme here. Groom, the punter, will put it down for Nugent.
Perfect.
Long enough. Got it. Big field goal for Nugent and the Buckeyes. He's kicked 3 here today. He struggled a bit at times last year, but he's having a sensational season, and he tacks 3 more on the board.
I thought it was good coaching by Ohio State. They knew a field goal was huge there, and they did not want to make Krenzel make a mistake and blow an opportunity to put 3 points on the board. Remember, Coach Tressel told us that story about Mike Tomzek where he didn't put him out and lose the game and embarrass himself. I think right there Tressel said, you know what, we got a kicker who's hot. Let's take the field goal.
A big mistake in this game was when the Washington State center snapped it early.
That's right.
That 3 would loom very big. They'd be within 6 points right now.
Exactly right. He snapped it when the holder had his head down.
Well, the Cougars will go on the attack. They've had a touchdown, and that was way back in the first quarter. Since then, you've got to give this Buckeye defense a lot of credit. They made one huge adjustment. They sent a freshman corner into the game. We were told when we arrived here that eventually Underwood would be moving into that lineup. It was just a matter of time. Another one of the highly recruited freshman class out of Hamilton, Ohio. And he has helped do a sensational job in the defensive backfield. Doffs is the ringleader. Nicky is back there with him, and Fox has made some big plays. So now Gesser and the Cougars must solve that secondary. Nugent with a great leg. Coming out on the 20, and let's take a look at Gesser's passing today.
Well, Gesser has been distributing the ball around a lot of these short passes. Here's those little bubble screens behind the line of scrimmage right here. He's, 6 for 7. But look at downfield. He's only been able to hit 2 of them. Down the sidelines, nothing. Of course, here one was the big interference play, right? Is that the one you wanted over there, right? Interference on the... But he's thrown to all different areas. Ohio State has not given him the deep ball. That's really the key. Make them earn every yard, just like basketball. Contest every shot. That's what Ohio State is doing.
Richard McNutt is back on the field for Ohio State. They throw over his head. He was covering on it. And we have a flag. In fact, a couple of them.
I think Will Smith got held that time. Yes, he did.
Well, again, we want to remind you about tonight, 8 Eastern, Nebraska against Penn State. Jamal Lord will go against Joe Pa's defense. And then the rest of you will see Texas against North Carolina. We split the country a little bit, but most of you here in this area are going to be watching Nebraska and Penn State tonight. 8 Eastern.
Number 93 coming around the corner there. You get that arm lock on Will Smith, and he almost got there. Gesser had to throw the ball before he wanted to, but a big penalty. That's what, you don't always get a sack, but that's a 10-yard play right there, just like a sack. Now Mr. Smith is lined up as linebacker. Look at him moving around in the middle of that formation.
Draw play against the defense, and Mr. Smith said, not in my neighborhood. Number 93.
Well, when you listen to all the people around Columbus, I mean, most of the ex-players have a radio show, right? I mean, you just listen to the radio. You got Ohio State football player. They all talk about Will Smith and how he dominated spring football. He had 9 sacks in the last 2 scrimmages.
So the Fresh Prince of Columbus stands up and makes a big play now, and it's 2nd down and long. Gesser forced out of the pocket. Fires incomplete. Henderson, the intended receiver.
Missed him. Another one of those plays, and I again want to tell all young quarterbacks, when you're running and you throw the ball, that ball is going to drift with you as you run. It's like, you ever been on a bicycle and you can throw the ball up to you and catch it? If you're in motion, everything you throw up stays in the same motion, and that ball drifted on Gesser that time, and he missed a wide open receiver.
See, only Gary can ride a bicycle and throw a football. Most of us should go head over heels if we tried that deal. 3rd down and 20 for Price's Cougars, and they're having their problems here in the 2nd half. Well short of the 1st down, and the Cougars are forced to punt.
I think the Cougars right there said, listen, we're not going to throw this in the teeth of the defense. We're going to take a short throw, give ourselves a little more room to punt the ball, and you know, we got beat on 1st down. Let's not make another mistake on 3rd down.
Gamble goes back deep. Bad snap. Out of the end zone, safety. Tack on 2 more. And
that's the 3rd mistake, I think, for the center.
They have a new long snapper. He has not been accurate throughout the day, and we were commenting that sooner or later that could hurt the Cougars, and it did just there.
That's Bieneman, the starting tight end. He's just a freshman. He's playing tight end and doing the long snapping, and this one just sailed on him. Remember, he snapped the one early. That led to no 3-pointer. He also had a snap the last time that was a knuckleball, was very luckily to be handled.
Let's go down to Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, Troy Bieneman never snapped, never long snapped in his career, not in Pee Wee, not in high school. And in fact, he was pressed into long snapping one day when one of his position coaches said, do you think you can do it? And he said, well, I don't know. And he said, well, tell us yes or no. And then he was pressed into service. He worked all summer with the kickers. But I'll tell you what, in a big pressure cooker game like this one, you can see Mike Price trying to calm him down just a little bit.
Boy, you see the emotions right there, don't you?
Sure. And what it does on the scoreboard, basically now the Cougars have got to get a couple of touchdowns. The 10 points, a field goal and a touchdown would have done it when they were sitting on the 16. But now that the Buckeyes are sitting on 18, that changes things a little bit here for Washington State. A little bit more of a sense of urgency now.
Yes, they need an 8 and a 3 at least even to tie. And then, you know, getting those 2-pointers are not easy at all. So, boy, I could feel it, you know, when those kids make mistakes like that, especially a young player, he feels like the whole team is looking at him.
After the safety, the Buckeyes will get it back. Vance goes down on the free ball at about the 34-yard line, and Craig Krenzel will come out. So there was some unease about the Buckeyes' fortunes at halftime. It was rather quiet up here in the press box and with the other media. They were wondering what was in store. And it was a 7-6 deal, and since then the Buckeyes have dominated.
The biggest play of the game in my mind was Claret's breakout run, almost the first or second play of the second half when he took that long run out there. That served notice to Washington State. A 44-yard run, I guess he had on that play. That really changed the dynamics of the game.
Claret has rushed 19 times for 127 yards and the Buckeye touchdown. He's in at running back. And the freshman's coming again. That's his 20th carry of the afternoon. Long, makes still another stop. Big number 88 there for the Cougars.
Watch the guard here, Mike Stafford, pull around. This is the lead power from the offside guard. Mike Stafford, I wanted to point him out. Here is a senior walk-on in Ohio State. It took him 5 years to earn a first starting job, hung in there, and he finally gets an opportunity to be a starting offensive lineman for the Buckeyes.
Big injury. Jack Arruda, get over there on there. We've
That's
got
his
a leg
knee
injury.
he's holding on, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's just a bruise or a shin.
Looks like he was holding below the knee.
Yes,
It
it did.
was hard for me to tell, really. And
you know, the doctor walked away from him really quickly there.
yeah, second down now. They're going to run the clock out, I believe, on the third quarter. And a reminder, folks, Washington State has outscored their opponents 31-0 in the fourth quarter. So we'll be back with that fourth quarter after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Check out our
Probably only
college football on ABC Sports Championship Television.
Probably only a cramp for Claret, but it's a tale of two halves. Ohio State dominated Washington State in that quarter. Look at Ohio State gained more yards in that quarter than they did the entire first half and held the Cougars to 25. And they've got the ball working on that clock again with Ross. He's been the running back. So with Jack Arruda and Gary Danielson, as we come to the top of the hour, we start the fourth quarter, and Ohio State of the Big Ten leading Washington State of the Pac-10 18-7. Already earlier today in the Big Ten, the Pac-10 with a big win up at Michigan State. California upsetting the Spartans. Here today, I think I saw in the USA Today, and Danny Sheridan's notes that the Buckeyes were favored by about 8 points, and they lead this one 18-7. And we get confirmation it was cramps. Claret back on the field. Here he comes again. Have you seen a better freshman, ladies and gentlemen, than what we're watching here? Trufant makes the stop. This year, I mean, as a running back.
He was lobbying Jim Tressel to get back out on the field, too. He said, I'm okay. He signed him, massaged his own leg. He'll learn that they'll have trainers for that later. Jim Tressel, no.
No, you don't have that in high school.
No, you got to rub your own leg in high school.
You do that yourself, yeah.
See, one of those guys, Eddie George, or those guys will call him and say, hey, just sit there. You get one of those female trainers to massage the lower calf there. We got 20 of them over there.
First down and 10.
Oh, nice moves.
He's got a little jitterbug step in the hole, too. And let's go to Jack Arruda for more on that injury.
Well, Brent, many athletic trainers take an assortment of ways to try and prevent cramps. You almost have to do it before you even bring your team to the field. Now, what most people will tell you is you have to begin to hydrate about 24 to 48 hours before a game. Well, here at Ohio State, they do something a little special. They take the little thing called Pedialyte that you use for young infants to try and keep them hydrated, and they put it in popsicles, and they have the team eat those popsicles throughout the course of the week. That's how Maurice Claret was able to come back so quick off that cramp.
Yeah, Gary and Jack were trying those popsicles, and here comes Claret, and very close to another first down. I think he got it. Yes, he did.
Let's take a look at Maurice Claret here at a little scouting report. And first of all, what you notice about him, the guy is just big. 6 foot, 230, fast, has great hands coming out of the backfield. And then here's the two things that most freshmen don't have and why this guy can play so early. Smart, picks up the blitzes, he knows how to play, and Jack talked about this, he's a leader. He even jumped on some of the seniors during practice to say, if we want to be champions, we can't practice this way. He's got the full package.
First down and 10. He has rushed 23 times for 146 yards. Here comes Claret again. The Buckeyes doing a good job of also working on the clock. He slashes inside the 40-yard line.
And Brent, I called it bloody their nose. When you want to run the ball with this type of guy, you go in all different directions. And exactly, give the offensive coordinator Jim Bowman a lot of credit right here. He's gone all different directions with Claret, and that's what keeps that defense real honest. But, you know, I call it bloody their nose. Woody Hayes used to refer to it as grinding meat. Just get in there. It isn't pretty. Just keep grinding and grinding away, and that's what they're doing right now. They take the clock right down to like 5-6 seconds.
Krenzel's just watching the clock.
Yes.
A very smart young man, pre-med student we showed you. Now the handoff, and Claret breaks a tackle, drives inside the 30-yard line before he's down, and Claret could be headed for another 175-yard day here. At the conclusion of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game. Guess who it's going to be for the Buckeyes? And Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Take a seat, young man. What a day you've had. 163 yards rushing.
As Craig Krenzel kind of bleeds this clock, we'll show you the play clock in the upper right-hand corner right there. As it'll pop out, he's got, what, 16, 15 seconds. Look, he's taking it right down. No hurry right here. Snap it, what, 5 seconds most of the time?
Ross running back. And he's stopped at the 30-yard line. Virgil Williams making the stop for Washington State. The Cougars trailing at 18-7, and they need the football.
The snap over the punter's head really changed the dynamics of this game, didn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, that would really, I think Washington State just lost a lot of gas after that one. Break the huddle real late, walk up. Krenzel's going to stand right in front of it. This will be a very safe play. No mistake.
Inside, fake. Krenzel dashes free. 5, end zone, turn, out at the 1. Down, the field judge ruled that his knee was down just inside the 1-yard line. A 29-yard run for Krenzel.
This is a read by Krenzel. I drew it up last week when I did Oklahoma. He reads the defensive end. If the defensive end goes flat, Krenzel keeps it very safe. But he had a little go there, didn't he? I mean, I thought this guy might be 4.95 flat. He looked 4.8. I thought he got hit, too.
It was close.
Yeah, his knee did hit the grass, but it was very, very close. Would you throw the red flag if you? Yeah, I thought his knee came down about the 2-yard line, to tell you the truth.
Well, it's first and goal. Guess who's back? Touchdown, Maurice Claret. His second touchdown of the game. A freshman growing up right in front of us.
Grind and meat. That's what Woody used to say, and that's what the Buckeyes have done here in the second half.
There's a happy fella, Jimmy Tressel, in his second year. And glad that he spent that day at Claret's high school and made sure he didn't change his mind.
He's also glad Claret lived in Ohio.
And that he had coached at Youngstown and was well aware of that youngster when he was about 6 or 7 years old. Nugent tacks up the extra point. So the Ohio State Buckeyes are saying today, we are the team to beat in the Big Ten. No doubt about it. Timeout.
Avalanche cup holder.
I enjoyed playing against you and Mr.
Putting the bats away.
Well, Gary, I always know when this was in the bag when Steve Snap goes downstairs.
Oh. It's like putting the bats away.
That's it, man. When the snapper's down there, you know, he says, it was a good day for the Buckeyes, and we always enjoy coming here. I enjoyed playing against you and Mr. Snap on a golf course.
Oh, really? What happened?
Yeah, you bought lunch for me, and you bought dinner for me. It was great. It was great. Snap missed that 4-footer. So there's the kickoff for the Buckeyes, and they'll be coming out on the 20-yard line. So how did the Big Ten do today? Not too bad. Now Purdue had to rally. Northwestern came through. Minnesota won by 10 over Toledo. Michigan in a little bit of a dogfight with those Irish. We'll see Notre Dame next week against the biggest loser of the day, as far as I'm concerned, Michigan State. 46-22 at home against California. What's wrong with the Spartans? And then tonight, folks, 8 o'clock. Circle that one.
Oh, yeah. This is the one.
You got to get home.
That'll tilt it. That's like Florida in the presidential election right there.
It's right there. First down. Coming out from the 20-yard line now, and Gesser cannot waste any time here. Got an open man as Darling. Buckeyes are playing soft, just gain some yards.
Play the clock. They're going to play the clock now. They're going to force him to go drive down the field in short bursts. You know, that's a little too long, though. That's 10, 11 yards. It took 6 seconds.
You know, I don't want to overdo the point. You've made it and made it well.
Yes.
Jerome Riley out with that hamstring.
And what it does, it weighs on everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Darling's tired. They're not getting any big plays from their receivers. They're getting nickel and dime plays.
And the Buckeyes will gladly give it to them with 10:30 now. Washington State trailing at 25-7. And Cougars might as well go airborne. That was Tippins. Well, Michael Schumacher is the first Formula One driver to win 10 races in a single season. And tomorrow, he tries to put that Ferrari in victory lane for a record 15th time at the Italian Grand Prix. Tomorrow at 1 Eastern, 3 Pacific on ABC.
I wouldn't argue with you that obviously Washington State has to throw the ball now, but if you look in the Pac-10, it's a passing league, but you win with the run game. Let me get a chance to explain what I mean. Oregon last year finished second in the Pac-10 last year in Russia.
Well, we get a USC-Oregon update now from John.
Brent facing Colorado, and you know Colorado having a tough time offensively, defensively as well. You see the ball on the one. Carson Palmer just follows the big line there, pushes his way in as USC adds to their lead right now, 27-3. Brent.
Hey, John, thank you. Of course, Oregon having an easy time against Idaho. USC there in Boulder. And guess who's got Darling, but he stepped out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
Well, you know, there's been a little of everything here, but the special teams, the snaps, I mean, it's like building a dam. It always breaks, you know, where you last looked. And this time there was a wobbly snap, an early snap, and a high snap. That's about covering it, right?
Yeah, it is. That's some bad snapping.
That's a bad snapping.
First down and 10. Ball near midfield, and there'll be better days for the young man. 9:49 to go. Set the screen, and he overthrew the running back, and the Buckeyes are going to blow it up anyway, weren't they?
Yeah, well, Will Smith was playing that off spy linebacker, and you're not going to block him. He was all over that screen. Number 93 was in the middle of it. It was actually a good thing it was incomplete. Will moves like a linebacker. He's got great size.
You know, we have raved about Maurice Claret,
yes,
and with justification. But I got to tell you, I am very, very impressed with the adjustments that this defense made and the way they made plays. Doss, number 2 out there, calling plays for him, the senior. I thought they did a great job.
I think it's experience. We talked about those 2 senior safeties. They're just more comfortable facing the spread offense, and they know how to adjust.
Open man. Ooh, Doss came up and gave him a lick. Now, here's a young man who came back to school for his senior year, and time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country.
Yeah, very emotional Doss coming back to Ohio State this year, wasn't it? I mean, he thought about a lot of things before coming back.
Well, I asked him if he had any regrets about coming back, and here's what he had to say the other day.
Not at all. I know we have a great opportunity Saturday to make a statement, you know, hopefully get Ohio State back on the track. And it just feels pretty good to, you know, be back for your senior year and be a leader on this team and try to do some great things this season.
And he is exactly that, as just enough for a first down. 9.5 minutes to go. Lundy making the catch, got the first down, and here is Mike Doss, the senior safety from Canton, Ohio, and that was the kind of hit that'll have the scouts taking a long, long look at him. Mr. Doss will get a chance next year to play on Sunday.
Another 3-man line for the Buckeyes.
So then Gesser come down the field. Incomplete. Nicky over on the double team, and that's Grant dropping back. He was a corner. Number 6 was last year, and shaken up a little bit. They've moved him up to that linebacker, and that's a nice luxury to have for a defense. Somebody can run like that.
Played a little out of position last year, but as everybody said, he was one of our 11 best players. We had to find a way to get on the field. He was almost a roll-up cornerback most of the time, but this year I think it's a better position for him at linebacker.
Second down and 10. Complete. picked up about 4 to 5 yards. Scott Lundy again, who's been an active receiver. He's caught 8 passes for 64 yards.
Well, we talked about Will Smith all day and different spots he did. And Will Smith was our performance track player today. And there he was all over the field. He didn't have the, the highlight type plays, but he forced that offense, to find him, and he lined up all over.
The spectacular highlight play was Wilhelm's interception.
Yes,
when
best
he tapped
play of
the
the
ball
day
to
for
himself.
defense.
That was an unbelievable defensive play and a very important play. 3rd down. Complete. 1st down at the 20-yard line, Mike Bush.
I really have to give it to Jason Gesser, though. I mean, they're most likely not going to win this game today, but this guy's got the whole package. This is going to be a game, tough game. Washington State to play in here in the shoe against a good Ohio State team. Hasn't had all of his weapons, but he throws all the passes you have to, and he's in complete control of the offense. He's going to be tough to stop in that conference. Brent, I think they need a little more run game. When they won the last couple years, and the Rose Bowl year they averaged 150, and last year 130 running the ball, they need to run the ball better and give them some help.
Crowd just getting noisier. Gesser trying to run away from trouble. Stopped at the 27-yard line by Darian Scott, the junior from Charleston, West Virginia.
We're going to get up there and talk to him after. This was like getting on the board in Hawaii and getting one of those waves to roll right over the top of you. He was hanging loose, and then he hung 10 and got it wiped out. Little Fran Tarkenton looks to his right, does a little pirouette. John Elway back the other way. He got his eyes. Oh! There's a door stopper right there.
2nd down and 15. Our Heisman Trophy candidate, who's had a tough afternoon here. Got a release man. Darling dances inside the 15-yard line. Speaking of the Heisman, we had a chance to ask him his thoughts about being included with the big guys this year.
It's a team sport, and I really look at the Heisman Trophy as a team trophy. And whatever we can do as a team to maybe get me over there in New York as a finalist, it's all to us. It's not up to me. It's all to the team.
Yeah, but today the team will have to rally here in the last 7:22 for him. 3rd down. Deflected. And that was Timmy Anderson, the defensive tackle, on that zone blitz setup, as he just dropped off into coverage there and deflected the ball.
When Mike Price was talking about his Fran Tarkenton, his feet are so light. I mean, he just throws. He's ready to throw at any time. Watch, back up. It is boom. He's like a shortstop out there. He doesn't really have to set up to throw the ball, and that's the West Coast offense. There's going to be a bunch of coaches who run that offense that's going to want a guy like this.
Fourth down and 3. Washington State hasn't scored since the opening quarter. Got his man high and taken away. Intercepted on the 3-yard line by Tyler Everett, the freshman nickelback from Canton. A great grab.
Another true freshman. Michael Doss is coming from this side. Gesser has to back up. Watch Doss come. He throws the ball at the back foot. It hangs, and Everett comes around and said, just like high school, I can catch up to this ball. If it hangs, I'll get it.
Second interception of the day for the Buckeyes. Timeout.
John Saunders back here in New York, and the Irish have done it against Michigan. John Navarre back to pass. Time running out. Shane Walton gets the INT. The last time they beat a team in the top 10 was 1998, and that was Michigan as well.
How about the Fighting Irish being unbeaten, John? And we'll see them next week against Michigan State.
We got the unbeaten Irish against the embarrassed Spartans. That should be a real good one, huh?
Ty Willingham goes back to his alma mater
Yes,
as head coach of Notre Dame with an unbeaten team.
And even able to score on offense now.
Yeah. Boy, what he could do with a West Coast offense with a Jason Gesser, huh? Holiday's doing pretty good. Here comes Claret.
Oh, man.
Breaking free, battling to the 20-yard line. He now has rushed, folks, for 180 yards as he comes off the field. And it's time for the Pacific Life game summary, Gary.
Well, it was the first drive of the game that Washington State scored, but the whole game, I think, turned in the second half with that Claret run. Krenzel had the big keeper, and then Claret just kind of walks into the end zone. The Ohio State grinding meat offense got it going in the second half.
I think he could take the rest of the day off, huh?
I think he wants 200 yards.
I agree with you. Yeah. First down. Ross now the running back. You're going to work on the clock. Let's check in with Jack.
Hey, Brent, you know, here in Columbus, they're giving out Archie Griffin bobblehead dolls, Eddie George bobblehead dolls, where there's a new legend that's been born in just the first 3 games. It's Maurice Claret. He has his own T-shirt. Maurice, the Beast.
Yeah, the Beast.
It's amazing what those fraternity guys have come up with a couple of cold ones. Huh?
Yeah, well, you know, Brent, you know, Everett had that interception, and it was a true freshman. There's 7 true freshmen that are listed in the second unit for Ohio State. They're playing out here. I think more and more young kids are getting ready. It's just the better coaching in high school. They're ready. They lift, and they're just ready to play football. I really think that college football should just make it a 5-year rule and just let any freshman play. Let them play kickoffs or whatever. Why this redshirt thing is beginning to be silly. They're paying for them. They might as well let them play.
The Buckeyes, as Claret comes back, have already rushed in the game for 242, 190 of them in this half. And Claret 180 for the game with both touchdowns. And this young man just won't stay off the field.
He wants the 200s. There's time to get 200. I think he's going to play a lot of games here for Ohio State, don't you think?
Yep. Jumping up those charts. Setting sail after Robert Smith's freshman rushing record. And here he comes again. On a great cutback to daylight. He's gone. Maurice Claret. The DB has got the angle and a possible first-round draft choice. Marcus Trufant is the player who stopped him. 44 more yards, and he's got his 200, ladies and gentlemen.
And if he didn't have
come out
plans,
now to a huge ovation.
You know what? We were trying to ask the coaches yesterday, who does he remind you of? And nobody came up with a name, but I'm going to throw one out there. How about Herschel Walker?
Herschel a little taller. How about Tony Dorsett?
Well, Tony Dorsett a little smaller.
Right. How
all right, I'll bet you on that one.
Now Maurice Hall checks in, and this is his first carry of the game.
You know, this guy is going to may set all the records for freshman running backs before school starts. Ohio State hasn't even started school yet. He's even been to class yet. How about that?
That's amazing. 224 yards. 28 carries, 2 touchdowns.
It's going to be, he'll talk to his first agent before he talks to his first counselor in school.
They'll be lining up, won't they, knocking on the door? Oh, yes. Now, next week, don't they go down to Cincinnati? I think they play in the Bengal Stadium.
They're playing in Bengal Stadium.
So they'll have a huge crowd. Hall. And that's Ross, who's back on the field. Let's go back. Remember that we told you about the true freshman rushing. Folks, look who's there. And on his way, and he's coming back in again. Well, he says, put me back in, coach. Now, what are you going to say? I mean, I want to go back in.
How about no?
I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking.
How about no?
You know, how about we throw the ball to him? Third down. comes Claret, cuts off, breaks another tackle. He's to the 21-yard line, and ABC Sports presentation of the Maurice Claret Show is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to King of Beers. Capital One, who asks what's in your wallet? And Yamaha, makers of fine motorcycles and ATVs. Nobody more in tune with motorsports.
You know, I joke about it a little bit, Brett. Excuse me, I cut you a little bit, but
Yamaha's
they paid for it. Yes. I joke a little bit about putting him in, but maybe the strategy for Jim Tressel, and let's try to look at maybe a reason why, is he knows he's going to need this guy in the Big Ten to play 4 quarters of football. And he's saying, you know, get used to it. I'm going to be running you all 4 quarters, and you need to learn to run all 4 quarters. That's the only thing I can think of.
I wonder what the record is for a freshman carrying the ball in one game. He's got 29 carries. That's got to be up there, doesn't it?
How about the record for Buckeye hat? It's the Buckeyes, little Buckeyes on your helmet before you go to school. Before you even go to school.
There'll be Buckeye leaves all over the place.
I think Ohio State is on a trimester, so none of the freshmen and all their start freshmen have not been to class yet.
So here's 4th down. He's rushed for 230. This time Krenzel keeps it straight ahead. And the clock comes down to 2:47. So Gary, who do you want as the MVP for Washington State? I had the Ohio State.
All right, I'm going to cross you up here. I'm going to take Colin Henderson.
You did cross me up. Maybe I want to vote on it. No, I'm teasing.
No, I mean, guess who's going to get it 10 times?
He came in.
You know? What do you think?
So
I don't have the final vote. I'm just throwing his name out there.
Sure, put Henderson in there. That's good.
You like it?
Yeah, I do. I like it.
A little more typing.
First down and 10. Hit in the backfield at the 25-yard line. Hall, the ball carrier. So our Chevrolet players of the game, and what a day number 13 had. Maurice Claret, 29 carries for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. Colin Henderson stepped in, had to start in recognition of their efforts. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship.
You know why I gave it to him? 9 for 9 throwing as a wide receiver.
He was 1 for 1 today, right? That's good. He had the best passing percentage, no question about it. Well, I wish the Cougars a lot of luck this year as they set sail after the Pac-10 and the Rose Bowl.
I think they got a shot at it.
I do too. There's Claret. And wouldn't they love a rematch with Ohio State?
I think Washington State would take anyone in the Rose Bowl. Now Claret's pointing to the scoreboard. I mean, I don't think you should do that. There's some pride on the other side of that line of scrimmage. I know they're jawing them and everything like that, but you just got to play football. That's right. Mike Price said, "Come on."
He's yelling at the Buckeye bench.
And that should have been a 15-yard penalty. No, I think he's yelling at the official, Brett. Saying that should have been a taunting or 15-yard penalty.
No, you're right. He was yelling at Honig that was taunting. Yep, that's exactly what that was.
You have to respect your opponents.
3rd down and 13. Ira Davis makes the stop, and next Saturday we'll see the unbeaten Fighting Irish of Notre Dame against Michigan State in East Lansing. And that'll be at 3:30 Eastern. Some of you see Virginia Tech, Texas A&M, BYU, Georgia Tech, Colorado, UCLA. So we'll take our final break here.
Years now.
Ohio State. So we're back for the final play of the game. And I raised the issue of the most carries by a freshman here at Ohio State. We didn't come close. 52 by Mike Turner against Northern Illinois. We had 31 for Maurice Claret. And Coach Price out there with Coach Trussell. And let's go down to Jackaroo.
Coach, you're a little wet. Congratulations, though.
Well, I tell you what, this kid's played hard, and he made some mistakes in the first half. Washington State's a good football team.
Coach, talk to me for a minute about the adjustments in terms of blocking assignments you made at halftime.
I think our kids just kept trying to do things better, and Jim Bowman, our offensive coordinator, line coach, did a great job. Our players had patience. We're getting better. We're a young bunch, and we're trying to get better.
Maurice Claret, Heisman Trophy candidate?
I don't know about all that, but, you know, the Buckeyes like him.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
So there you have it. Maurice with 31 carries, the NCAA record. Mike Turner in Northern Illinois with 52, the most ever in an NCAA game. The Buckeyes win it 25-7.
Made the change. What made the change? This is what an out.
At 9/8 Central on ABC.
ABC, we'll walk with you. We're back with Maurice Claret. Maurice, congratulations. What an outstanding day for you.
Oh, thank you. It was a long day. The first half was kind of slow.
What made the change? What made the change?
The offensive line made the change. The offensive line and the fans.
How about a 230-plus yard day?
I'm just happy to be out here running for the team.
Is the pride of Ohio State back, Maurice?
We're getting it back there, and we want our respect. You got to give credit to the whole team, though.
Congratulations.
All right, thanks.
What a great performance. And to the winner and the champion come the interviews. Timeout.
Here at the Horseshoe, not the way Jason Gesser wanted the game to come out, but what are your recollections of that second half, Jason?
You know, they came out and they stopped us from what we do normally best, you know, and they got us with the rush. We kind of hurt ourselves in a lot of series of, we got down the red zone so many times and we didn't put points on the board. You know, you got to help your defense out by putting points on the board in, and we didn't do that. And, you know, a field goal here, a touchdown there, a field goal there, and we're going down to the last drive of the game to see who wins this game. And, you know, they got me out pressure. They did a real good job with that. Played a real good team today.
Thank you, Jason.
No problem. Take care.
Brent?
All right, Jack, thank you very much. Up here with Gary Danielson. Gary, Jason showed us a lot as a quarterback who was on the losing side, but how about the freshman running back?
Well, they built in this offense around Claret. That is very obvious, and the whole Big Ten better take notice that Ohio State has one of those tailbacks.
Exactly. Well, we do have time for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report. So right now, let's send you to New York. John Saunders and Terry Bowden. John?